What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fish and Grits, the podcast. Today is March 13th, 2021. As always, I am Ryan, joined by my co-host with the co-mosts.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm not all there today. Micah, how you doing, sir?
Feeling good, feeling great, feeling great, feeling good. How are you?
You just sounded like a robot. I hope that translated across you too when you did that. How are you?
You.
Marco, sir, how are you?
I can't complain. Family. I look a little squished in this
You
live
do.
box though.
I'm gonna adjust you here in a second. I don't know why you're way over there.
Crush.
Oh, now it's just Yankee all the way across the screen. My mouse continues to freak out.
I got a crush on you.
Well, this is a perfect time for my mouse to freak out. There we go. Marco's back in the frame. There we go. You're not as off to the side now.
Am I still squished though?
You're a little squished on that one. That was because yours, for whatever reason, your thing
being
is
squished.
I'll work on it at the break, but
okay.
Otherwise you were going to be either really tiny or huge. I don't know why I was doing that.
Huge.
Current events. There's unfortunately not a ton of happy news with this week. Unfortunately, another police shooting happened where another young man lost his life senselessly at the end of, really as a result of untrained or undertrained police officers and overly aggressive police officers in this nation. And yet again is a young black man losing his life senselessly. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it at the very least. You know, I don't have a lot of words for it because it's like, damn. Again, like, do you one of y'all want to take the lead on this one?
Go ahead.
As to what happened and
So, it's just one of those things. It's they said he had a warrant for a gun possession or something.
yeah, he was out on bond. He had a warrant, I believe, and he was pulled over because in the state of Minnesota, it is illegal to have air fresheners hanging from your rear view mirror. So they pulled him over for that.
Yeah.
Or so they say. Whether this person was targeted or not,
Yeah.
that's another debate.
Said he reached back in the car, taser, and shot fired.
Yeah.
That's a lot of malarkey, though, because, I mean, the taser is distinctly different from the gun. It's yellow, first of all. You can clearly see in the video that she's holding a black object that's obviously heavier than a taser. And then, I don't know, to me, watching that video and listening to her, it almost sounded like acting. Like she was in the process, she was like saying it out loud as to try to absolve herself from what she knew she was about to do. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't distinguish, like as a police officer, as a veteran on the police office, the police force, someone, I believe she's almost in, I think, for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if you can't tell the difference when you reach and grab for your taser, which does not weigh much. I mean, like a taser is not nearly as heavy as a fully loaded pistol. Ammunition is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You pick up a pistol, when it's loaded, you're like, oh, okay. This thing's got some weight to it. Like a taser, even with a cartridge in it, is not nearly as heavy. And the rubber grip, the plastic body to it, feels completely different than a metal or, the plastic grip of a pistol. It's just, anybody who's held a gun can tell you that. There's like a few things, like when I watch it the first time without a lot, because I don't like to get into the comments and read a whole lot of what people are saying about it before I watch it. I want to go in kind of blind and see what I'm seeing. There was like one thing that stood out to me at first, and I was like, well, maybe it was a mistake, because when she said taser, and then fires one round. So as a taser, it's a single-use item. Either this is completely premeditated in my eyes, and she thought, okay, I can't fire more than one round here. It'll look like, this, or it was an honest mistake. Either way, this person needs to go to jail or, at the very least lose their job and be prosecuted to the full extent of whatever the law will see there.
Yeah, both of those things.
She resigned today. However, I heard the police chief might not accept her resignation, possibly due to the fact that there might be an investigation. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, dizzy ass. What? Goof ass. Oh, goof ass don't know what the hell doing ass. I mean, it's a testament to the kind of people that, not to like disrespect police officers, but that's like, I don't know. Have y'all seen that commercial where like it's like a lady, I guess, who was like, she was a police officer, and then she says, she became a world famous DJ. I want to say it's like a Dos Equis commercial. Well, it's like when I watched that, I'm like, is she like an agent? Because because I don't think I've ever met a police officer who was capable of anything creative. So I don't know.
Wow.
Those police officers just don't strike me as people who are creative or, critical thinkers. Or,
Right.
Now, but also, because we brought up the Daunte Wright thing, but there was another. Oh, where was that? The officers,
Texas.
where the officers stopped the lieutenant, the army lieutenant at gunpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And so they finally he sued they finally fired the officer so it's like, and people watch that video and it's like, what, they're treating a military in his fatigues like this, and it's just like the use of force is ridiculous.
That one is without a doubt 100% racial profiling and racial aggression. That's what that is. There's no one can convince me otherwise of that one.
You said you should be scared.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm scared to get out of the car. You should be.
But I thought you were about to talk about the other one where it was like a flip. It was a white what do you call it? A white veteran, and they pulled him over, and I guess the black officer was like, he saw him with a gun, or he had a gun in his car. And I guess he tried to like be very like nice about it and be like, oh, can you please? Shot? Yeah, like the dude had like an assault rifle in his car, and they tried to be like real calm and nice about it. No guns drawn. And then the dude jumps out of his car with his assault rifle and kills that one cop. And eventually they chase him down and apprehend him. I'm not sure if they probably took him alive, but that goes to show also that, like, even a veteran, like the one black veteran, got harassed. And then this guy who literally had a gun in the seat next to him got treated with kid gloves and ended up killing a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, we've addressed this several times in this show. I think everyone knows where we stand. It's stupid. It's like the police are undertrained. They're overly aggressive. There's segments of racists throughout them, and it's time. There needs to be change. There absolutely 100% needs to be change on this. If you're a police officer and you engage in your job, like the most dangerous parts of your job, more often than military members do, but military members train more frequently than you, something's backwards there.
Well, but there's also more more responsibilities or more accountability as a military officer or someone in the military. Like if you engage without getting a command from from your superiors, you can be court-martialed. You can go to jail. But as a police officer, it was someone that said that, I forgot who said it, but they said most people, like everybody said, police officers are tried on a subjective basis. So as long as all they have to do is say, I felt threatened. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how logical you as a jury could think, yeah, I could see why. It doesn't matter if you felt it was logical or not. All he has to do is say, I felt threatened, and you have to let it go. But everyone else is judged on an objective. So on an objective standard. So if I said I felt threatened and shot someone, there has to be like literal, like a jury has to be able to say, all right, I can see why you felt threatened for me to have a chance to get off. And that's the difference.
Yeah, that's a good point. And go for it, Marco.
I was just going to say that, they just have a tendency to stick up for each other, and they're sort of immune from certain prosecution because of and I think that's like one of the main things that needs to be absolved in terms of the power that police have to police themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it should not be judge, jury, and executioner all based on the one the one company or the one, I don't know what you call them, entity that is the police. And it's absolutely crazy. I mean, you could give countless, and sadly enough, countless examples of how it's rigged in one direction. And it's just, I mean, it's unfair and it's absolutely got to change. But, you know, hope with prayers out to the family of Daunte Wright. And, you know, Minneapolis is already, there was protests already. It's going to be another rough time, and especially for this to happen while the trial of Derek Chauvin is happening. Like, you're talking about, you're standing in a field doused with gasoline, and you go out there and you smoke a cigarette, and then you're surprised when the whole field, you know, catches ablaze, and they're like, why are they rioting?
Right. Does anybody know the name of this female officer?
I can't remember it.
Like, what a time to make that mistake. God damn.
Oops, it would help if I search for the right name. I don't know. I'll find it here in a second. And
it's all good. We don't. Who cares?
Yeah, Kim Potter.
Kim Potter.
So let's see. Another one of our favorite, or, you know, one of the, I wouldn't say favorite because I know where Marco already stands on this, but some would say a legendary rapper passed away this week, just recently, as DMX passed away. Darkman X passed away tragically at the age of 50 after suffering the effects of an overdose that led to heart failure and complete brain failure and all that type of stuff. He was on life support for about a week, and then, you know, they were monitoring him. He just didn't get any better, got worse and worse, and then he finally passed away. What day was that, guys?
Friday. Well, really Thursday, but they wanted to control the story. So no, he passed away on Friday, and they officially announced it on Saturday
morning
because it got out. But obviously, I mean, he pretty much died on Friday. That he went to the hospital. They just had a dead body on life support, pretty much.
Right. It had functioning organs, but that was about it. Which is really sad. Do any of y'all have any, like, first DMX memories that, like, stand out to you? I know mine for sure was in the Best Buy in Kennesaw off of Barrett Parkway, standing in the CD section, being extremely mad because my mom would not buy me Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, because she picked it up and flipped it over and read the track names and then saw the label on there. She was like, no, I'm sorry. At 12 years old, you are not going to be listening to this. And I was pissed.
Oh, man. Yeah. I specifically remember sixth grade. This is the upside of having a sister who's 5 years older than me. So I had both Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, and It's Dark and It's Hot. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. And I, going up on our patrol trip in the sixth grade to Washington, D.C., listening to it. I brought 2 CDs in my CD player, and those were the only 2 I brought, and just bumped those all the way up that 12-hour drive, bus ride up to D.C.
Marco, you got any?
I mean, first I want to say, though, because we got to say allegedly, because we don't really know that he died of a drug overdose, because his family, when that came out, his family actually came out and they said, we wanted to clear things up. And they really didn't clear anything up, but they took out the fact that it was an overdose, and they just said he had a heart attack. And I guess there's some speculation that could have been because of a COVID vaccine. I don't know. We don't know how he actually died. But that I also want to say that I won't say that about the numbers. But I will say that DMX was really good at rapping. And I think that in a lot of ways, he saved hip hop after Tupac and Biggie died. Like, I think that hip hop was going towards the shiny suits, and then DMX was like, and then the lock sort of rode his wave. But the bringing back like the hardcore street element, I think DMX was sort of responsible for that. I mean, in addition to Swiss Beats. And some of my favorite DMX memories are the time, like his interviews, and just how he would get so candid about like all these other rappers and how fake they are. Like Jay-Z, like the year that DMX, I think he dropped 3 albums in 1 year, and they all went #1. And when he went back to get funding for the next album, Jay-Z wouldn't talk to him. He wouldn't let him in the office.
What? I've never seen this before.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because at one point, when Jay-Z was the head of Def Jam.
Yeah, that's when that was. Yeah.
And like DMX was killing it. So Jay-Z his albums weren't killing it like that. So it's like, no.
Right. Yeah, just get rid of the competition. So, I mean, Jay-Z pretty much single-handedly killed that label by doing things like that. And also when DMX was like, I hate Drake. I hate everything about Drake. The way he talks, the way he looks, the way his music.
Damn.
Like, yo, let's go, X.
You just reminded me of that one. It's like everything he does, whack. His foot stance, whack. His clothes, whack.
That was like the most like angry. He was like, man, I hate that nigga. I hate him. And I was like, God damn, man.
Oh.
But
man.
I guess Drake tried to come out today and be like, "Oh, we squashed our beef." It's like, Drake, shut up, man. He didn't like you, man. Just be cool with that, man. He did not like you, just like a lot of other people. So.
Nah, I'll never forget though, because I'm a big comedy fan, and it was a comedian, Aries Spears, talked about when he met him, and he was trying to get him to listen to his CD, trying to get him to kind of do an ad for his CD that he did because he does impressions. And he was like, dog, give me the CDs. Like, if I like it, he said, if I like it, I'll do it. If not, yo, he really growled at me.
Yeah, man. I mean, X, he's probably one of my favorite hip hop characters ever. So Earl Simmons, Darkman X, 48, 49. See, I got them numbers in there.
Someone, Foreign Exchange commented conspiracies as soon as you start talking.
Hey, man, 48, 49, man. He died on his numbers. So, yeah, man. So Swiss Beats is going to make a lot of money.
Oh, God, I'm sure. I'm sure y'all saw that thing I posted the other day where Trevor Noah was talking about how good you have to be barking in songs and people don't even notice, don't even question it. What was that? What was that one, Micah? Was it Chappelle with him cheating, or is that Kevin Hart? I don't remember.
Cheating.
Hey, yo, bitch, what's the answer to number?
Oh no, that was Cat Williams.
That was Cat Williams. That's right.
DMX, he 4'7". Hey, yo, bitch, what's the answer to number 7? You want some water with some lemon? Arr, arr.
What was DMX's height? Was he short?
He wasn't tall.
5'11".
A lot of rappers, I find like a lot of artists, their persona is bigger than they actually are. They're like not even who was it? Damn, like DMX, he had that growl in the voice, that he was such an intimidating figure, like because his intensity, but in reality he wasn't a very big guy, and it's like, wow.
You know what, Shog? Go ahead.
Like T.I.'s the same thing. Like, T.I. was king of the South.
He seemed
but he had that swagger, the arrogance,
right?
Talked about the trap game and all that stuff, and then you see like 5'7" or 5'8", like figured you'd be bigger.
I don't know what's going on with the video, but we're like, okay, we disappeared.
I hit my my cable and it disconnected from the laptop for half a second. I was like, oh no.
Okay, but just in terms of, I was shocked. In terms of like celebrity heights, how tall do y'all think Michael Jackson was?
5'10".
Yeah, it's like 5'9", 5'10".
I always thought he was like 6'2" for some reason. I don't
How tall
know
was
why. He was 5'9". He was. Yeah, all right. But I always thought, for some reason, I always thought he was much taller than that.
Nah, here's the thing. Here's a philosophy my mom told me about a long time ago. She said, "Have you ever noticed how a very slim person looks much taller than he actually is? Like he might only be 6'1", but he might look 6'4", 6'5" from a distance just because he's so gangly and looks like real long. And then you get up next to him and it's like, oh, you're not as tall as I. Meanwhile, like a bigger person, like I've had several people who they knew I was a big guy, but then they would, like, especially it's mostly women though, and they'd be like, I didn't realize you were that tall until they stood up right next to me, and they're like looking up. It's like, yeah, I'm just round. I'm big. I'm round. So it's like, yeah, I just don't look as tall. But once I stand up next, like I remember one of my friend's exes. She was she looked like, first day I met her, I was standing at the bottom of a hill and she was sitting on the hill. And then the next day, when I was standing up next to her and she was looking at me like I was Sasquatch. She was like 5 foot even and just looking up and be like, oh my God.
Black Squatch. Sorry. No, but
Marco.
Yeah, when I saw that, it made me feel a little bit more secure. I'm like, so the greatest musical artist of all time is my height. Let's go.
Hey, don't let those women short shame you, man.
I know, right? What's her face? We'll bring her back on it.
Aisha Deal.
I only talked to men who are 6'2" and up. I was like, damn.
Oh man.
I wasn't trying to talk to you anyway.
Oh, but sadly, we're going to close the current news segment off with more sad news. As former 49ers defensive back Phillip Adams committed a horrible, horrible crime. Just absolutely, there's no good news coming out of this. He, in Rock Hill, South Carolina, he committed a quintuple murder-suicide, killing the doctor that was treating him and his entire family, which was his wife and 2 grandkids, and then someone that was working at the house as well, and then killed himself. I'm sure, I haven't been keeping up with it, but if news has already come out or it hasn't, I'm sure we will be hearing news about him suffering from the effects of CTE. Or some type of mental health issue. I just, you don't see things like that, especially since it's linked directly to his doctor. I'm sure there's going to be something coming up with that, but, it's just absolutely horrible. Prayers to everyone affected by this, all the families, all the people that are directly affected by it, and it's just extremely sad, extremely tragic.
I mean, I know you can't. So did he shoot himself in the head?
More than likely.
Because I know you can't. Don't they say you can't really tell if a person has CT until you look at their brain after they're dead? Right?
Yeah, you can do like brain scans and kind of see, but to really see how bad they're suffering from it, you won't be able to tell until they study the brain.
Yeah,
just is what it is. Oh my goodness, what is going on with my mouse today? I can't click on anything without it jumping all over the place. So moving on to NFL news, directly related to the NFL. We had talked about it before and talked about it a couple other times, that Deshaun Watson has been accused of, now 21 sexual assault cases.
22.
Instances. 22 now? Yeah, so 22 sexual assault charges are being filed against him, directly following on the heels of him saying that he'll never play for the Texans again. We can talk about that till we're blue in the face of how coincidental it seems, or it could just be this has been, being put together for a long time. All the people were getting together, they were collecting the information, and that just went out. But we'll see. We're gonna play you a clip of the the first public statement made by one of the victims. Her name is Ashley Solis. She came out and made a statement just today, I believe. Yeah. And said some things, and then we'll react to what she says. So let's go ahead and get to this one right here. And we want to go, and of course my mouse starts jumping all over the place. Let's get this up and play this for us. Good night.
I'm here to take back the power and take back control. I am a survivor of assault and harassment. Deshaun Watson is my assaulter and my harasser. Deshaun Watson assaulted and harassed me on March 30th, 2020, in my own home, doing what I love most, massage therapy. My father, who was once a diehard Texans fan, can no longer mention his name without turning red, seething with disappointment. I think that's the most heartbreaking aspect of it all. We were all deceived into thinking Deshaun Watson was a good guy. And unfortunately, we know that good guys can do terrible things.
I'm just trying to see if I can make myself cry like she did.
I've been talking to myself for a second because I was muted. All right, so let's rewind a bit. Something about this feels theatrical for you guys at home. The accusations, the fact that they came out and asked for $100,000 in hush money beforehand, and the theatrics surrounding this press conference. I don't want to come off sounding insincere, but for someone to do this, you know, I want them to get out there and seek their own justice. I want them to seek whatever form of justice that they feel comfortable with, you know, that they feel like this is what will make them feel vindicated, make them feel better. I want them to seek that. I do not want anyone to ever feel like they can't come out and say these things. With that being said, I don't believe her. For the things she said, to say it's robbed her of her ability to, you know, be a massage therapist and to say what he did made her immediately break out into tears for what he's being accused of doing. I don't know what it is, but something in me is saying you're making something up. And in the other accusations that, you know, like the one you had mentioned a couple episodes ago where she pooped herself because, you know, things like this. Something about this seems like someone sat down and wrote a script and said, what would sound good? What would make him look really bad? And And I know how that sounds, and I know how that appears because I'm a man. I get that. Like, I'm fully aware of what I just said and how it can be perceived. It's not that, though, and I don't want anyone to take this as a soundbite and say, oh, look, you're insensitive to women and, women coming out and seeking justice. It's just not the case. I'm saying I don't believe Ashley Solis. And I don't believe some of the other people who have said it just because of how extravagant some of these stories are. Now, if they are true, if what Deshaun is being accused of is true, I want him to lose his career. I want him to serve time and, however long that the justice system sees fit. I want that to be true, to happen. But I still feel that way right now. What do you guys see, and what's your feeling on this one? Marco, let's go to you since you had a very animated reaction there at first.
I mean, first of all, she looked like olive oil, Popeye edition. That's neither here nor there. Like, that's not a testament to her truthfulness, but it's facts. And I think that it looked to me that she had rehearsed that for a very long time, and was able to lather herself up to the point to, bring tears out. So I think they really charged her up to sell this one. This is your big shot. This is your audition, Dancing with the Stars. But so what did he do? He what were we saying? He made her.
That she said that he at one point pushed his genitals against her hand.
Oh, he made her tip the tip. What were we
right,
saying?
essentially swiped her real quick, and in an attempt for her to grab it, and she said. She then realized that he wasn't there for a massage, and the only thing he was there for was sex.
I'm just starting to wonder, is this maybe Deshaun Watson is really just getting a whole bunch of escorts, and this is maybe a tipping game of him not wanting to admit that he has an escort problem, and because why would you try to have sex with so many massage therapists? Why not just get escorts? I just don't understand that. So I'm starting to this whole thing is seeming pretty weird, but I think Deshaun set himself up to where it's going to be really hard for him to get out of this unscathed. And I'd be surprised if, we ever really see him on the field again, because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Why?
I've never thought about it like that. If the fact that he did seek out all these, these at-home massage therapists that are women, then yeah, that's true. That is weird. That would be odd for him to constantly do that and to constantly contact them on Instagram. Right. Because you're a pro athlete. Your team has massage therapists. Your team can easily get you someone at the top of their field.
Right. And I feel that's super audacious to consistently, instead of just going and getting an escort because maybe you feel that's slimy, try to coerce sex out of a whole bunch of massage therapists. I just don't understand that. So there has to be something missing from this story. Maybe, like I said, maybe they don't, Deshaun doesn't want to just ruin his image and be okay, well, I was just trying to get a whole bunch of escorts. And maybe these girls are all were disguised as massage therapists, and because of that, they can use that as a vantage point of, oh well, we were innocent in all of this, and he's the deviant. But I don't know, man. It's just really difficult for me to wrap my mind around at this point.
What you thinking, man?
I'm kind of on the same wavelength as y'all. It's something about this is off. And to me, one of the first things she said in that clip kind of caught me off guard. They were pointed, it's very specific and pointed wordage she used. And I'm a survivor of sexual assault. And from the story, from what you said, if he brushed his penoid tip across her hand, I mean, yes, you may very well have been sexually assaulted. However, the word "I'm a survivor," it makes it seem like it was some kind of life or death situation. And
hold on, let me stop you there before you get in trouble on that one, because that is what they're addressed. You know, people who do face sexual assault. If these women, if this did indeed happen to them, then they are survivors of sexual assault.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy to be predator.
Yeah, that is.
Well, I mean, I know. Like I said, it's just, it's just very. It's a strong word.
Sexual assault's a strong thing. It is.
It is. I mean, it is. But I mean, it's like, to me, if a shooting happened, and someone shot a wall, it's like, all right, well, yeah, I almost got shot, but then there's someone who got shot and actually survived it. It's like, yeah,
don't scale people's trauma. Don't scale people's trauma, Micah. That's not.
That's, matter of fact, fuck it. Just go. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's a dangerous.
Building that gets shot at, you're in just as much trauma whether you got hit or not.
Right.
Because you could be, because then in your mind you'd be like, oh, I could have been me who got shot. You know what I mean? So right. I wouldn't say I would.
I'm just at the point I just don't really give a shit. So let's just move on.
All right.
I will say this though, that there's been evidence that I think a large percentage of these girls engaged in consensual sex with him. So if there's any saving grace, it's going to be that.
I mean, it's just my only. Well, I'll say this: the timing is still the thing that kind of makes this off to me. Just, after you have a dispute with your owner, who's a very powerful, very well connected person, and like I said, the same guy whose father was quoted saying, when folks were kneeling, we can't let the inmates run the asylum.
Yeah, who's kind of a well-known racist.
Yeah, so this is a family thing. So it's not out the realm of possibility that this man with power and influence could potentially pay to get people to try to ruin this quarterback's life until just to kind of check him, get him back in line. But I mean, I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but that's one of my biggest. It's just like, I'll destroy you before I let you go to another team, almost. And that's, just to get this uppity quarterback back in his place, to me.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that there is something fishy. There's something, like Marco said, there's something off, there's something missing. Something's the whole piece, the whole pie isn't there. Like, we're missing slices all over the place. So
I think Micah's take had Harvey choking on a Popeye's biscuit.
Harvey's like, no, Micah, save yourself. So on to a couple signings around the NFL and some retirements. The Panthers just signed former Pro Bowl and Tucker native AJ Bouye to a contract, helping one of their weaknesses, which is a number 2 corner. He can now play across from, I just lost his name, the guy from LSU, Daunte Jackson.
Daunte.
Yeah. Dante's just a speedy guy so far as what we've seen. He's not like all the other.
No sound.
Again.
The sound went out.
You froze, Micah. There we go. We're back. I think Micah cut out there for a second, but Daunte Jackson's a building block type of corner. He was raw coming in. He had a lot of speed and decent coverage skills. He's a good ball hawk. He's kind of like a Goodwill version of Marcus Peters to me.
Goodwill version.
I'll never forget getting into a debate with someone on one of the Falcons forums over when OZ had that 93-yard touchdown against Daunte Jackson, and he was like, the guy was like, well, I mean, that was stupid. They went cover 0 blitz. I was like, first of all, we were inside the 10. If any time you want to do a cover 0 blitz, it's there because if you get quick pressure, you could force the quarterback to make mistakes. I said, He got beat by a fourth string receiver, allowed the receiver to catch the ball, missed the tackle, and then gave up a 93-yard touchdown. And then after the game wants to blame it on the coach. He was like, well, it's stupid. It's stupid. I said, all right, let me tell you how a real cornerback covers this. Said, take Stephon Gilmore, who was covering DeAndre Hopkins on a cover zero blitz. He sprinted back, so he made sure DeAndre Hopkins didn't run by him. He gave up a 10-yard reception to Hopkins and then rallied up and made the tackle for a 15-yard gain. He said, I'll give up a first down before I give up a big play. Meanwhile, Daunte Jackson got burned and gave up a touchdown. And he goes, oh, it's the coach's fault. He shouldn't have called the cover zero right there. Nah, that's on you, bro.
So that's just like saying he should never call cover zero with you on the field. I mean,
don't trust my cover skills, sir.
I'm a corner. What do you expect me to do?
I mean, so I mean, the Panthers, are looking lukewarm over here. Like, should we be worried about this team?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is are we more worried about the Panthers on the come up from their youth, or are the Saints going to stay consistent and be the team that they were with the changes at quarterback and all the losses that they've had through free agency? Who's more likely to this season to, the Panthers on the come up or the Saints on the go down?
I mean, who all has the Saints lost?
They've lost lots. They lost Sheldon Rankins. They lost Malcolm Jenkins. They lost Drew Brees. They lost. I mean, none of that. They've kept the big names.
Where'd Malcolm Jenkins go?
I don't, unless they re-signed him. Let me double check that because I'm thinking he might have re-signed. Okay, yeah. So they did. They were able to restructure him and bring him back.
My thing is that I'm a lot more fearful of Jameis Winston than Sam Darnold. We've seen what Jameis Winston has done to us. When he played for that, Tampa Bay team that was just waiting for an excuse to get over that hump. Like, a lot of times he was a player that, played to our weaknesses and was able to do things that put us in jeopardy. So with him and Sean Payton, I'm going to be a lot more afraid than whatever Rule has in store for Sam Darnold, who isn't good. Even though he might put up decent numbers, I think he might have a better statistical year than he had with the Jets, just because the Jets are a joke of an organization. But, I mean, I'm not afraid of the Panthers.
Oh, yeah. Good point, Bryce. They also lost Trey Hendrickson.
Okay.
So they've lost some,
Well, but that role they've just kind of plugged. It's almost been kind of plug and play.
Hendrickson was a surprise for them, honestly, because it was supposed to be Davenport.
Yeah, but I mean they still have Davenport, who's shown signs, who's shown flashes that he could be something. To me, I mean the Saints are still the team to beat because they've been the most consistent. Although I don't know how sure Marco is that Jameis is going to be the starting quarterback because Taysom Hill lost one game as the starter last year, and they gave him big voided money.
He didn't even throw a touchdown until like his third game.
Well, they threw it against us, unfortunately. But
through two, right?
Yeah,
2 or 3.
I think two. But I think offensively, but let's not forget Carolina's lost some pieces on offense too. Mike Davis was a very, very good backup to Christian McCaffrey. He's now a Falcon. Curtis Samuel, which I think is the dumbest thing. Curtis Samuel was an all-purpose tool for them. He did some of everything. They put him in the backfield. They split him out. It was like what what's his name? Cordero Patterson was for the Patriots and for the Bears, and except he's a much better receiver than Cordero Patterson, and they let him walk in free agency because they didn't want to pay him. And I'm like, okay, so you got DJ Moore and you got Robbie Anderson, 2 burners One is tall. I mean, Robbie Anderson's 6'3", but he doesn't play like a big receiver. And DJ Moore is like 5'10". He's not a big guy. So you're undersized.
Still a beast, though.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to say he's not good, but he's just like, you know, you can't. He's not the guy you're going to throw it up to consistently and expect him to go get it.
Isn't he reuniting? Aren't they being reunited, him and Daunte?
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson is.
Yeah. Reunited. I wonder how he felt.
They still have to address did they get a tight end?
No.
They still need a tight end. They need to upgrade. They need to upgrade tight end. They need to upgrade some offensive line. They still have more holes overall than the Saints do, because that was another thing. The Saints were very deep. And, you know, one or two players get dinged up, they bring in somebody, and the drop-off, there wasn't a huge drop-off between, you know, the starter and the backups, which really is the most important thing.
And they still can't. I mean, they have they have some offensive linemen, but they still need to address O-line.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
I'll also say Christian
McCaffrey. I said that.
Christian McCaffrey is exemplary, but at the same time, I do think there's an issue, like, playing a dude who's built like Reggie Bush, playing him like Derrick Henry. Like, I think there's an issue with that. And the fact that he got injured last season wasn't like I don't think that was like a standout thing. I think that's going to be the rule, because, you know,
not the exception, but the rule. You think he's going to stay injured?
I think like as long as they play him like he played that one season, where I really do think they were just sort of trying to get his stats up, you know, and really try to challenge that Marshall Faulk record. You know, just because they didn't have anything else to play for. Right. But unless they like change that, I think he's going to continue to be hurt.
But that was one of my biggest things with them letting Curtis Samuel walk, because I'm like, Curtis Samuel isn't going to be a big. You're not going to be, you know, you're not looking at like $20 million a year for Curtis Samuel. You could have gotten him for $6-7 million a year probably. I think he might have signed for about that. And like I said, he could have been used as a type of player that can, you know, you can use in the same ways you use Christian McCaffrey and help you. Now, you're going to need another running back, but still, I mean, like, he's a gadget guy. He was to them almost what Taysom Hill was to the Saints.
Yeah, close. And without
throwing
the ball.
But he's not quite as big. But, you know, you talking about home run hitter? Good God. Like, he'll turn a reverse into a 70-yard run easy. Real quick. So,
man's got a ton of speed. I don't know. Marco, I don't think McCaffrey's going to stay injured. I don't see that yet. You know, if it happens one more time, then I might believe it. But this is his first real time in his whole career being injured.
But it was almost a predictable injury. I figured that it was going to happen.
It wasn't just one injury. It was a high ankle sprain. Then he came back and he hurt his shoulder, and then his shoulder pretty much put him out the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I think, you know, he probably could have played, but again, the Panthers didn't have anything to play for, so they were like,
They could have played for my fantasy numbers. I'll tell you that. Jerks.
God, so many, like, Michael Thomas went out for me. He was my number one pick. Christian McCaffrey went out for you.
Bruh. Christian McCaffrey, Michael Thomas, and Saquon. Raheem Mostert. I had damn near every starting running back I had went down for several games at one point last year.
Ouch.
D-Hop was the only first-round pick I had that didn't get hurt. Thank you, D-Hop.
And he was semi-marginalized also.
Yeah. I mean that offense wasn't targeted for him to have like ridiculous numbers in the red zone like he did in Houston.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's hard for me to judge. I'll just say I'll agree and say Saints are definitely going to be good. I think Jameis is going to be a stabilizing force there. A lot of people don't really realize how good Jameis is or can be, especially now that his vision's fixed. But
is it allegedly?
Yeah, right. But him with Sean Payton, man, like he responds to that type of coaching. And I think you're going to see 35, 40 touchdown Jameis again. And it's just, it sucks that it's in our division.
But how many interceptions?
I'd say no more than 15. 17 at an absolute max.
29.
I know, right? He keeps it under the record. But I can see, not looking back, I almost wonder if maybe this was like a premeditative strategy for Sean Payton to not give anybody tape on Jameis, knowing that he was going to start next season.
Yeah. I mean,
No. I will not give that douchebag Sean Payton any kind of credit like that. Screw him.
He's a genius, man.
No, he's not. He chokes every year the same way he did that choke sign against us. He chokes every year too, when it matters.
He can't control what goes on the field. Like
yes, y'all. Hey, he thinks he can. The way his arrogance, he talks like he can. Oh yeah. Matter of fact, you gonna catch these hot L's. You gonna serve up these hot L's to you.
Did y'all remember Andy Reid's son? What happened at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been formally charged with felony DWI for his involvement in the crash.
Good.
Leaving a 5-year-old girl in critical condition.
Wow.
But don't drink and drive.
That family has gone through some stuff. But Andy's this great coach, but it's almost I understand now why so many head coaches choose to retire at a fairly early age, because it's almost like they have to get their family in order.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tony Dungy, it's like some of these families, these coaches put so much time and energy and effort into coaching these teams, and it's hard to be the stable head of your household when you devoting that much time to your job in football. So
yeah, I mean, it's one of those jobs where like you can't have kids. Like if you do, you're not gonna be around them very much. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're a college coach. There's no off time.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's none. You go from season to training to recruiting, and recruiting's probably one of the most time-consuming parts of your job, honestly.
Well, I think you do have a little more time as a college coach. You have recruiting, but you don't have as long of a season. And I don't think your schedule is quite as strenuous as far as because you don't have the bid a lot.
I don't know though.
Yeah, I would say
micromanagement in college, because you're looking after a whole bunch of kids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are, but you also have a lot of assistants to help you with that. But I feel like with the NFL, there's a lot more to with the. Like what's his name? Mike Philly. They came out and talked about how the owner and Howie Roseman, was it Roseman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they met with Doug Peterson every Tuesday to do status updates. And it was just like, bruh, you're micromanaging this coach. And then once he did something they didn't like, they fired him after the season was over. So it was just like, all right, so this man came 2 years off of a Super Bowl, made the playoffs with most of his team hurt. Then 1 year, he pulls a young quarterback out of the game for a backup, because you're basically you're not playing for anything. You're not going to win the division. You're not going to make the playoffs, and then you fire him for it. So I don't know.
I think on some level, I would rather deal with one billionaire than a whole room of boosters.
Boosters, God, I could not deal with boosters.
Yeah.
Always, and then at the same token, I think that in the NFL, you have a bigger pot of money to delegate. Your assistants. You have Whereas in college, it's sort of a limited, even though they're not giving any money to the athletes. So in the theory, there's more money. I think that you have more resources at your disposal in the NFL than in college. I don't know. That's just a thought.
My only thing is with, I think the owners in the NFL have a lot more power than any of the boosters in college. And because there's at least rules against what boosters can and can't do versus owners can do whatever the hell they want to do, say whatever they want to say, and there's really no repercussions to it. I mean, like I said, look at the whole Bob McNair thing. You know, he said what he said about the inmates in the asylum, and there was no consequence because there's no one to check the owners in the NFL.
Oh, you think what I said was racist? You do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see who has an office on Monday.
Right. Like if Goodell ever truly challenged the owners, they could just replace him.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Moving on. One of my favorite guys to hate in the NFL, I'll admit, he was very, very good. Great. I don't know. He put up some great numbers, but I don't know if this individual was great. Julian Edelman just announced his retirement after 12 seasons in the NFL. He is it could be argued that Julian Edelman was the best postseason receiver of all time, based on the stats that he put up during his run.
I mean, better than Jerry?
Well, it can be argued. I'll pull those stats up here in a second.
Anything can be argued.
Don't put it past me, Marco. He made the catch that all of us remembered with Robert Alford playing great defense, honestly, and Julian Edelman just making probably one of the luckiest catches I've ever seen.
Magnets.
There was magnets in the ball.
Hey, judging by the Patriots' history, I wouldn't put it past them.
I know, right? It got done to them. The helmet catch, that was magnets.
Damn it.
They learned from that game against Eli.
Bill's taking notes on the sideline. Magnets.
Let's see. Let me pull this up. So Jerry Rice has 2,200 yards. Let's see, how many touchdowns? I want touchdowns too. Let's see, how many receptions? 1,500 receptions. Wow. That's not right. I want postseason. All right, it messed up. Anyway, so yeah, he's first with 2,200 yards. Julian Edelman is second at 1,400 in 11 years, whereas Jerry Rice did it over 19 years.
Another interesting thing is I think despite Calvin Johnson only playing 4 less seasons, he still had 4,000 more yards or something.
Oh, in his career?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's see. Oh, Jesus. Calvin Johnson's just such a beast. Just an absolute beast.
Because everybody's trying to say, well, if Calvin Johnson's in there, Julian should be in there. I don't know about that.
So now, I saw a couple things that it worked against Julian Edelman. First of all, I saw somebody posted, it was Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne are not in the Hall of Fame. Said, all right, so and then it's another one right here. Warren Sharp posted this. Says, love Julian Edelman, but compare his career to Hines Ward, who can't make the final ballot in Hall of Fame voting the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Hines, 1,000 catches. Julian, 620. Hines, 12,083 yards. Julian, 6,822. Yeah. Hines, 85 touchdowns to Julian's 36.
And
Hines has a Super Bowl.
ACLs to Julian's too.
Matter of fact, they both have They both have a Super Bowl MVP, and Hines has 4 Pro Bowls to Julian's none.
Right.
So
well,
if Hines
Julian was a Pro Bowl vote, but he got replaced for the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. But I mean, even still, that's 4-1.
Right.
So, I mean, Julian Edelman is a very great career, but I mean, it'd be like Robert Ory. It'd be like Robert Ory making the Hall of Fame in the NBA. It's like, this guy's got like 7 or 8 rings because he's always been on the right team. He's hit big shots. He's hit very big shots in big situations and big moments, but you've never been like, this dude is just a baller. like this guy is the guy you want on your team. But like when the game's on the line in the playoffs, knockdown.
I will say, when at his peak, when Julian Edelman was healthy, he was almost unguardable at times, man. Like, absolutely unguardable. Like,
Wes Welker was still better.
That was my next question. Was
system that like a lot of that system, because obviously he was a great athlete and he's very shifty and sturdy. I'll give him. He was very sturdy and he was always where he needed to be, and his hands were immaculate. But I mean, a lot of that has to do with Tom Brady in the system.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of option routes, and when you're on that, when you have that kind of connection with the quarterback, and half the time Tom would throw it to a spot and Julian would just show up there. Wes Welker was the same way. It's more of a knowing where to be and getting there at the right time, and the quarterback knowing exactly where to put the ball versus, just, I'm just this great. Like I said, Julian was a lot of option routes, and he could get open and get to a spot at the right time to catch the ball, versus like Jerry Rice, who was just like, you can't guard me, or Plaxico Burress when they played the Packers back in the day. Plaxico was taking Al Harris to school and runs to Mike McCarthy and says, he can't guard me.
Julian never really had those moments. But he did don't get me wrong, he gave people hell. He definitely gave people hell, but it wasn't on like a one-on-one basis.
Well, it wasn't just like, oh, this guy's just nasty. Like, you've never thought of him like a Chad Ochocinco.
No.
Where it was just like
two different types of receivers.
No. Chad was bigger, but as far as like footwork, that's the one thing that everyone says about Ocho.
Yeah, but Chad also had a lot more straight line speed than Julian too.
Yeah, but I mean, in a box, you couldn't press him. There was nothing you could do with Ocho. Now, granted, Revis shut him down, and he admitted to that. But like like I said, Edelman, it's that scheme. It's a lot of option routes and knowing where to be and how to beat coverage versus just like one-on-one. I'm taking this dude, throw it up like Randy Moss, just like off the line, throw my hand up. You can't guard me.
Yeah, but I mean, to your Chad Ochocinco point, he went to that same system and couldn't do anything in it.
Yeah, because I saw is that one clip where Tom Brady was like, why'd you cut the route short? He was like, he tried to explain. He was just like, all right, Chad, just go.
Well, but like I said, a lot of that was just chemistry. He was new to that. And Ocho said it. He was like, he already had Aaron Hernandez. He had Gronk. He had Welker. He had Edelman. All these guys he was familiar with. So you put me in that offense, and although I might have been a better receiver than them, it's just I didn't fit in the way. I didn't have the chemistry with him that the other guys did. So
I think he was also trying really hard to fit in, because I know in other places he had been praised for his route running, so it was unusual for him to go there and not, be able to cut.
I mean, people thought it was going to be a match made in heaven. All right, so getting out of this, Julian Edelman, Hall of Famer, yes or no? Marco?
I say Julian P.E. Edelman. I'd say no. Like, so if the fact that, like you already said, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, and Hines Ward especially, if none of these guys are in the Hall of Fame and none of them, not only did they have better numbers, but they never got caught doing PEDs, I definitely say that no, he does not belong in the Hall of Fame.
Micah?
No.
I agree. No. He will probably be a Patriots like Ring of Honor or Patriots Hall of Fame, whatever they call it. He will definitely be there, but he will not make the National Football Hall of Fame.
I can't say definitively. I think they might. I mean, 3 titles is a lot, but I think maybe there might be some shenanigans. So I can't say he won't, but I don't think he should be in there.
Yeah, but titles aren't individual accomplishments. Like it isn't.
But there are players who are in the Hall of Fame more based off of titles and playing on certain teams as opposed to, just flat out.
Other than dominant. Quarterback, like who?
Some of those
like Lynn Swann. Lynn Swann's numbers weren't as great as like Julio has better numbers than Lynn Swann in his career. And
different era though. I mean,
Roddy White
was huge.
Roddy White has better numbers than Lynn Swann.
Totally different eras. I mean, you're talking about
I get it,
throwing 17 touchdowns.
But I get it. I get it. But
they're good then.
Well, I mean, I get it. But at the same time, statistically, these guys, it was more so about the team he played on. And yes, he was the big playmaker for that team. But, it's just like it's the same reason, like I said, some of those quarterbacks who
like Terry Bradshaw and his
Terry Bradshaw is definitely overrated.
But meanwhile, like Phillip Rivers, who's like 5th all time in almost every category, might not make it. So
our guy,
Matt, Matt's a question mark for some people.
Dream. And usually if you're a question mark, that usually means no.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Hines Ward was a question mark when he retired. And
one of the best blocking receivers I've ever seen.
God, I mean.
No ACLs. That still always gets me to say, how the hell does this dude play with no ACLs? Like, how do you not have ACLs?
Bruh. Ask Frank Gore. Frank Gore's like 45 and he's no ACLs and he's still I got 7 years left in me.
Straight lines only, baby. Don't ask me to go left or right. So let's talk a little bit draft before we finish this up. Potential top 5 quarterbacks in this year's draft. Trey Lance is set to hold a second pro day, and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are expected to attend. Does this change your perspective on who the 49ers will be selecting with their 3rd pick? Or is this just more part of the game? Because there have been teams, and we'll get to that here in a second, that are apparently in love with Trey Lance and are willing to move way, way, way up to get him. Does that change any of y'all's opinions on who you think they're going to get? And Mark, I'm going to work on your image here while we do this.
Smoke and mirrors, man. I think the 49ers are the biggest cap masters in this. Kyle Shanahan's a troll, man. Like, no one knows what the hell he's going to do. But, like, I'm still bordering whether he picks Justin Fields or Mac Jones. I don't think Trey Lance is going to get picked by San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's looking at Trey Lance, but I think, like I said, my argument for him getting Mac Jones still stands. I mean, it's like getting a veteran in your system, but he's like 21, 22 years old. So it's like, oh, you're already familiar with the system. You're familiar with the verbiage and everything.
Literally the exact same system.
So, you can plug this guy in, and the only thing you have to worry about him is adjusting to the speed of the game. So I mean, I just think that's the smartest pick. But I mean, I think, or they could just be playing games just to throw some teams off and, get people more excited about moving up the market and, we got to get, oh man, Niners might take this guy. So, I don't know. Just throw people off their scent, maybe.
Right.
But I don't know if it's in the rundown, but did you mention that former?
It's next Falcon on there. Yeah, okay, that's what I was about to talk about. So, Trey Lance is one of those guys that has been mentioned for the Falcons because, we're talking about should we get quarterback, should we get this? And now with 1, 2, 3 essentially being set, we know what the market is essentially going to be, especially if Mac Jones is number 3 taken off the board. That would leave Justin Fields or Trey Lance for us at number 4. Now, our former GM, Thomas Dimitroff, came out and said that he believes that the Falcons should draft Justin Fields. Does that scare you guys at all off of Justin Fields? Does that make you think, oh, maybe we shouldn't get him?
You want to take this first, Marco?
Oh, man. It's funny, though. When you said that was like, when I texted you then, you said that, I was like, that's exactly what they were saying on the radio. It was like,
is it really?
Some people might be like, maybe that's the pick we shouldn't make. But no, I mean, I'm still firmly of the belief that we should trade it back. So I would say, yeah, like him saying that definitely makes me think, double down on what I already thought. Like, we do not need a quarterback at that spot.
I'll talk more about that trade down thing here in a second. Micah, what's your opinion?
It's funny though. It made me think of how about a year ago this time, Ryan was making that argument about how Dimitroff was actually did a great job.
He's done. There's certain positions. Actually, in quarterback, I was thinking about this earlier. Quarterback is one of the positions you could trust him to evaluate because, besides the bench guys, first round quarterbacks are the guys that you can trust them on because he was 1 for 1 there.
Can't miss quarterbacks.
Oh man, I was about to say, can he though?
All right, hold on. You can trust
Matt Schaub.
Thomas Dimitroff for draft. Matt Schaub was a good quarterback.
Yeah, but at 38.
Oh yeah, I mean you brought him in, and even here at 38, man, Matt Schaub did a good job.
Did he draft him initially?
Yeah, we did.
Did Dimitroff draft him?
No, it wasn't Dimitroff. He was back in the Michael Vick era. So was it who's his assistant right now, or like VP operations or whatever?
Oh yeah, the guy that
Rich McKay.
Yeah,
was it Rich
McKay?
McKay? Yeah. So I just thought it was funny because he was like, he's not doing as bad as but just not that there's nothing against Fields. I absolutely love Justin Fields. I've been a fan of his since high school. He went to Georgia. I was a huge fan. Then he left Georgia. I was upset. Went to Ohio State and went to 2 back-to-back national championship playoffs, whatever. But at this
beat
rate,
Trevor head to head.
Yeah, he did. Oh yeah, spanked him. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm kind of more on the trade, dangle that 4th pick in front of the Cowboys so they can trade up and get Kyle Pitts.
Or the Broncos.
Oh, here. There's actually some news regarding that. So you think Cowboys, Micah?
Yeah, I've heard Patriots, but that's 15. And I don't know if you want to trade back quite that far because 10 to me, who I want at 10. Mm-hmm. Patrick Surtain. And you can get him at 10. 15 is a reach to try to get him. And, that's my opinion. And, I know a lot of people are still on the Penei Sewell, get the left tackle. But it's like, all right, but what do you do with Jake Matthews? If you get this 19-year-old potential franchise left tackle, what do you do with Jake Matthews? You can't trade him because you have too much cap invested in him still. So, and you're not going to move him to right tackle because McGarry isn't as bad as a lot of people want to give him credit for.
Pretty good.
He's a solid right tackle. Yes, he's had a couple bad games. He had the one bad game against the Saints with Cam Jordan, who's one of the best left ends in the league. But now, granted, maybe one of those sacks were actually on him that game.
He might be the best left end in the league.
I don't know. JJ Watt and
not anymore.
It's a few.
JJ Watt's an inside 3-4 left end. So
yeah, Von Miller plays outside. Yeah, but it's just edge rushers. I'm just kind of qualifying edge rushers in general.
Then he's top 10 for sure.
But he's one of the best, and like I said, a lot of those sacks in that first game against the Saints weren't necessarily on the offensive line. And so, they put I think Cam had 3 or 4 sacks that game, and you say, oh yeah, that's on him. But if your quarterback doesn't maneuver the pocket sometimes or throw the ball away when there's nothing there, it can make you look bad as an offensive lineman.
All right, so I've got something that I've thought of here recently, and I talked to Bryce about it the other day. And Bryce was kind of the idea, Micah, that 10 was about as far back as he wants to trade.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to present to you an idea based around Trey Lance, actually, because a team has come out here recently and it's leaked that they are just head over heels in love with this guy. They need him, and it makes sense because they are complete just about everywhere except for the quarterback position, and that's the Washington football team. They pick at 19, and it's been rumored that they are looking to trade up to get their quarterback of the future. Granted, they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, but everyone knows Ryan Fitzpatrick is not a long-term solution.
What are you talking about? The Fitzmagic is amazing.
I mean, he can definitely do well at times, and then there's other times where it's the Fitzmagic cycle. We've all seen it before. Right? We put it up on the show. Play well, get starting job, throw a couple picks, lose job, go to another team, play well, get starting job. It's the circle of life. The circle of Fitz. All right, so the Washington football team, to trade up from 19, will have to pay a king's ransom to do so. So you would get 19 in exchange for next year's first and the following year's first, a second this year, and probably a third this year. So you would go from having 1 first-round pick and 1 second, 1 third, and then the 4th and 5th is where we start to stack them up to 1 first, 2 seconds, 2 thirds this year. We are a team that needs quantity of picks because let's say let's just go 21 picks over the next 3 years, you'll probably hit on 10, 12 of those, 15 if you're really, really good of those picks. If you start collecting more picks, it allows you to throw more quality players, young quality players at the team to fix it. But it also enables you to move back up, say, next year for a quarterback. Because quarterback doesn't make sense this year for us. We've talked about it multiple times. So, at 19, guys, we draft Najee Harris. You're now not drafting a quarterback or a running back that you don't need or you need way too early. You draft Najee at 19. And then you take one of those picks, either from next year or one of the seconds from this year. You stack them together, and you trade back into the first, and you draft someone like, say, Tevin Jenkins, Micah.
I wouldn't be mad at that. Here's my only concern, though. I think you have to go quarterback this year. At least one.
Are we not falling prisoner of the moment doing that, though?
No. I'm not saying you have to go. Why? I don't say you have to go early for one because we only have one quarterback on our roster now. Matt Ryan is the only quarterback that we have on our roster. You don't have a
quarterback in the trash heap.
You don't have a lot of, but here's the problem: you don't have a lot of cap space. So free agents, you're very limited at what you can find and afford, like quality backups in free agency. And and when Brett came on the show, he said it. He mentioned it, and when Brett Coleman came on the show, he mentioned it in one of his statements. He's like, "You're only as good as your backup. You're only as good as your backup quarterback." So, if anything, I'd much rather get you. So, chances are you're probably gonna have to draft at least one. Now, I'm not saying
Jamie Newman in the 5th.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Sam Ellinger might go late. You can maybe get somebody like that late. You don't have to address necessarily the franchise guy this year, but honestly, I would prefer getting a future guy that you have the confidence in potentially being a franchise guy and giving him 2 years under Matt Ryan to kind of learn the system and get acclimated to the game. But at least got to get somebody because you need the depth at the position.
There's a little chat going on in our little conversation going on in our chat here. Bryce says Taylor Heineke to the Falcons. Harvey responds, Heineke hasn't been seen enough. And here's what gets interesting. And we're going to hold you to this, Bryce. He says, I will personally send you a signed Matt Ryan jersey to burn if Taylor Heineke doesn't succeed. One, Bryce, you're not getting my signed Matt Ryan jersey. So
yeah, like
you better.
Where's his signed Matt Ryan?
You're not offering up mine.
Are you gonna buy one?
Oh man.
So we're writing this down. This is going. Where's a Reddit bot? Remind me in 5 years. Yeah, we need to. Hey Siri, remind me in 5 years to check on Taylor Heineke.
I mean, hell, I'd even take. What's the name of that one quarterback? The black dude who came in, who was throwing hard as hell.
Wait, which one?
What team did he play for? I think he might have played for not the Broncos, but last year I saw this one quarterback. It was like this short black dude, and he came out gunning it. I was like, there's gonna be somebody that we don't.
Wait, were you talking about Carolina?
It wasn't Carolina.
What team?
It was Carolina. It was Carolina.
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker, yeah.
Is he still on their roster?
Yeah, because he went to Temple, and he knows what's his name system. So
Rule.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I just feel like I don't know. Like I said, Jamie Newman in the 5th would be cool, but I don't think we need to reach like all this talk about. Oh, the Falcons aren't going to draft at 4, so it is a once in a lifetime thing. I don't necessarily think that's true.
We didn't pick it 4 when we got Julio, but we managed to make it up there again.
That's what I'm saying. So like, if
we traded up there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With gathering all those picks, you can trade back up. Sorry, Marco, go ahead.
Right. If you want like Spencer Rattler or something, or one of these other guys, and honestly, I don't even think we're going to be bad enough to be having to pick a quarterback up there. But I mean, I don't know. There's time to get another quarterback.
I mean, Mike Bell on 92.9, the Dukes and Bell show, said it like 2 weeks ago. Like, this is not the only year that there's going to be good quarterbacks. Like, this is not the only.
It is.
This is not the only year where you're going to have like 4 or 5 guys that could possibly be good that are going to be mobile. This is what quarterbacks are going to look like now. They're going to have strong arms. They're going to be mobile.
Quarterbacks are going extinct after this year.
And my theory is like if we, like, say for instance we do really well this year, and and then in that scenario, then we're probably going to be more confident in riding with Matt Ryan a little longer. But if not, and say we get a top 13 pick, I mean, you can still get a really good quarterback in the top 13. I mean, either way, you're not getting the number 1 pick. So it's
it depends. Well, no, I just all right. So say the number 1 quarterback next year has a very Mitchell Trubisky-esque season. So, do you like, would you be like, all right, let's get, would a mid-round quarterback this year be better than Mitchell Trubisky-esque quarterback next year high in the draft?
Always.
Yeah, but there was also a Deshaun Watson in that draft. There was,
10.
Pat Mahomes,
all right, but you still have the draft class with Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, where most of those
Darnold's not done. Darnold's not done.
Darnold is done.
That's my point. My point is that it's way too much of a gamble to hinge to hinge on to the fact that, oh, we got to take a guy early. Because first of all, you never even know if he's going to be good. Second of all, we're not going to have a number one pick. So you're not going to get the can't miss guy anyway.
Well, but I'm not saying get one in the first round.
Yeah, you are.
What I'm saying is no. I said you still have to address the quarterback position in this draft. Whether it's fourth round trying to get like a Jamie Newman, fifth round trying to get a Jamie Newman, or
what's old boy from Stanford?
Yeah, I did not watch the Stanford game.
He's year. Actually, I would not mind grabbing him in like the third or fourth quarterback.
I mean, I like your idea of Najee.
Mills.
Say for instance, Mills. Say for instance, if we say the Broncos, like for the Broncos are definitely in the need of a quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. What if we trade with them? Who would you take at 9? Would you still would you take Surtain? Or would you take Najee at that point? Is 9 too high for Najee?
9's too high for Najee. I would never take a
running back
in the top 10 ever. Like unless you're talking about like Derrick Henry, the reincarnation of Derrick Henry, which Najee is not. He's good, but he's not Derrick Henry. Yeah, he's
close to the size.
Yeah.
I mean his tape almost looks as good too.
I think top 10 is too early for a running back, and because you've seen in today's NFL, it's gone so much towards pass happy that you almost be wasting money on a running back because the quality of contract is so much better. It's like the NBA. If you're a lottery pick, you're gonna make a lot more money as a lottery pick than you are if you're into the first round. So I think you want to, if 19. Najee is a solid pick, and then if you want to trade back up to like 28 and get Tevin Jenkins, I'd be all for that.
An A+ first round draft for me.
Yeah, but like I said, my only thing was I think because of how we let like Ben Kurt walk, we let what was the guy from LSU that we got from the Patriots?
He was mobile as hell. What the hell was his name?
Yeah. Whatever. We'll figure it out later. But yeah, since we let both of them walk and Shaw, retired at like 45, we have to at least get a body, a young body, with some talent, just as an insurance policy. Because like I said, what we can get for free agency is probably not. It's just going to be like a waste of money, probably.
Right there, Harvey, is the signed Matt Ryan jersey.
Well, no, that's the free.
No,
the one in the far back is the Matt Ryan jersey.
Your angle is different than theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Matt Ryan. And then I have a free. I actually won the Matt Ryan jersey, Harvey, at the Falcons draft party 2 years ago.
Yep.
I walked out on the field, and some lady tapped me on the back and turned around. She's like, "Do you want to answer a question?" And I was like, "Okay."
I have feelings about that though.
What?
She asked the only white guy in the group. She tapped you on the shoulder.
Stand together.
Hey, random white guy in a group full of black guys.
To your credit, I was sort of like I was like a little bit away from y'all. I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, you were taking a picture with one of the cutouts, I think.
Doing something.
Wait, which one of y'all was it Joy that was taking a picture with the cheerleaders?
I think it was me.
Was
Joy
with us there?
Huh?
Was Joy there with us?
Yeah.
He was? I thought it was just the three of us.
Nah, because Robo came down too. Yeah, Robo and Joy both came with us that time.
Oh yeah, we had done Stone Mountain earlier. Yeah. I remember that now. That was a good time. Robo, you need to come back down. Joy, you need to move back to Atlanta.
And I remember standing next to Julio's cutout, like, you're not as tall as I thought you were.
I mean, all Atlanta needs now is dispensaries. I saw his little receipts. I was like, oh man.
Man, I'm telling you. Please.
That ain't gonna happen.
Legalize it.
Hey man. Don't say never. I feel like in the next 3 years we'll probably have dispensaries.
Harvey wants to hang out with me. What?
I would think it would happen in Atlanta.
Where's Harvey from?
I think he's trying to steal my jersey. I think that's what's going on.
Want to hang out, Ryan?
You want to hang out
He got a toy
in your basement?
He takes the jersey as a open a Zippo with it. I'm gonna burn it. Put me on the show or I'm gonna burn it.
Oh man. All right. So that wraps up our Grits Blitz. Let's go ahead and take a quick break here. Do some things, and we'll be back in probably about 5 minutes. Wait. I thought there was one more thing in the NFL that I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, well, I forget. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back in a little bit, guys. Right, we're back from the break. Real quick notice here before we get into some basketball. Marco, I don't know why you look so smushed. I don't get it.
I don't know, man. What happened?
I thought
we were going to address that.
Crush.
Because the thumbnail's usually always that picture, but we can't really use that if I'm looking like that.
Yeah, like
an egghead.
I'll adjust it here in a second. While Mike or somebody.
Conehead, that's what I was thinking of.
Conehead. Taylor Gabriel actually announced his retirement after 7 seasons in the NFL. That was one of the things that I forgot to mention. Turbo spent a lot of years here in Atlanta and then went up to Chicago and played exceptionally well there.
Got that severe concussion.
Yeah.
But he had that severe concussion that pretty much ended his career.
Took last year off due to COVID. Didn't want to expose his family to that, and then just decided to hang it up, I guess.
How many years is that total?
7 years in the NFL.
I wonder what he made.
That contract in Chicago probably did him pretty decent. He made decent money there.
Because I was like looking, I was watching this video about Ricky Davis and how he cut his career short. I was just curious. He only played, I think, like 10 years, and I was just curious how much he made. He made like $42 million.
Ricky Davis?
Ricky Davis.
Ricky
and
Williams?
Then I looked at someone like Rashard. Huh?
Ricky Williams, you mean?
No, I'm talking about basketball player. Ricky
Okay.
Mr. Triple-Double on my own rim. But then I looked at like Rashard Lewis, who I think played like 3 more years, and that dude like made like $100 million. I was like, damn, Ricky, you fucked yourself over.
I mean, honestly, like NBA contracts, you need to stay in that forever.
Right.
Only 4 players have guaranteed contracts in the NBA on each team.
Marco, right. I think you're a little less smushed now. Take a look and see what you think.
I'm still pretty smushed. Oh wait, there it goes. Okay, I see you fixing it. There, yeah, that's right.
Much better.
Excellent. Yes, it's my normal head size.
Let's move you over a little bit.
And then
there we go.
I'm still not all the way in the ball. I'm not seeing it live. I'm sure you're getting it right.
You're a little more centered down. I'll slowly adjust it. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So now it's time. Well,
oh wait, no, he's had one more.
Yeah, sorry. I was continue talking about that. But Terry Fontenot, our GM, had an interview with Dave Archer. If y'all don't, for those of y'all who don't know who Dave Archer is, former quarterback, former analyst, or play-by-play guy for the Falcons, and now analyst for AtlantaFalcons.com.
Can we get Dave on the show?
I've reached out to him several times. He strikes me as the type of guy that just doesn't do those things.
He doesn't anything outside of the radio. He probably says, "No, I'm golfing."
Right. Arch is all about his free time, but I'm talking about like he probably doesn't get on Instagram too much.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just like tweet someone. I haven't found an email address for him, but he's someone I've tried to get on for sure because I would love to talk to Arch. But yeah, had an interview with Arch Fontenot, and Fontenot he asked Fontenot what his opinions on the quarterbacks were and why he gets out and he's scouted all the quarterbacks. Like, why are we doing that? And Fontenot made a very good point as to, one, you don't know exactly what's going to happen in the draft, so you have to be ready in that aspect. Two, you don't know what's going to happen to some of these players like Trevor Lawrence down the road. Maybe Trevor Lawrence doesn't pan out, and 3 years down the road he's available like Sam Darnold was. The Panthers probably attended some of Darnold's pro days back then and saw something they liked, which is why they were so willing to make that trade. So it's a holistic approach to the position. Like, we're not just going to look at the guys that we like, that we think will fall to us. We're going to look at everyone, because maybe we do want to trade up. Maybe someone will fall. Maybe in 2 years they're a free agent because they don't want to play for that team or whatever. It's just something that you have to do. Also, you can get a little scouting on them, like, hey, they can't throw deep outs. They can't throw the in route well. So it's a nice thing. It's a nice change of pace at GM. What you got, Micah?
I just thought about, they got an arm like what's his name from Miami?
Oh God, Dorsey.
They got an arm like Ken Dorsey.
Why always got to talk about Ken Dorsey, man?
I've never seen someone skip. I've never seen a quarterback skip a screen pass in my life except for Ken Dorsey.
I saw Tim Tebow skip an in route.
Yeah, in route, but at least the receiver was 10 to 12 yards away from him.
Yeah, well, it didn't just sputter after it hit the ground. It pew off the surface.
but that, I just remember Frank Gore was just like, Ken Dorsey skipped the ball to him. He's like, bruh, come on, man. Come on, man.
Wait. Bryce said Marco's usually on the left. This is weird.
You're not recording.
Oh, I'm not recording the...
Who is this? Evil, there's a guy in Toronto, looks like evil Steph Curry. He looks like Daunte West mixed with he's hitting all these threes. Like, I thought we had this thing wrapped up, but they're trying to come back. He just hit 2 straight threes.
I don't get what Bryce is talking about. You are on the left.
Yeah, I'm on the left.
No, Bryce, you're never going to get to know what Micah's coaching record is, just because I'm going to hold that over you forever.
I think he means I'm usually on the right, because I'm usually on the right. Yeah.
I can switch y'all. You want me to
no,
switch
you don't
y'all
have
right
to.
now?
Just keep it how it is. Because whenever I look at the basketball game, it always looks like I'm looking at you.
I'll switch it later. But that sounds like a perfect transition to
the layup, a.k.a. the finger roll, a.k.a. jelly time, a.k.a. points in the paint. Yes, sir. And we are back. Let me go ahead and wave this paper real quick so I can do a time stamp, and I'll actually wait for that because it is crucial. Quintessential even. What is the lag time on this thing? I think it's about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it seems to be about 30 seconds today. It's usually not that bad, but today is.
Come on, wave that paper. Behind. Wave that paper, boys. Come on. Wait for it.
Oh, you're talking about looking at me, and I said that sounds like a perfect transition to.
Okay, it's 149.50.
Apparently Jeff Fisher just took a job at Tennessee, the head coaching job at Tennessee State.
They're going to be terrible, and their quarterbacks are going to suck.
Jeff Fisher back to work. I was waiting for him to get a college job. I was like, damn, Jeff Fisher I know he's too young to just quit.
Young.
I know he's not young.
60, right?
He's like 68 probably.
No, is he that old?
Let's get to the bottom of this. Jeffrey.
I got it.
Okay.
He's 63.
63. Okay, yeah. See, I mean, I was figuring the Tennessee job when that came open, but
so Eddie George hired him on as an advisor. He hired his son on as a defensive coordinator, and he's trying to get Hugh Jackson as his potential offensive coordinator.
Damn. Eddie George is like, we're bringing the pros.
Call favors from all my homies. So, getting into some NBA talk. We're currently watching the Hawks, and they are up at the moment. We're playing like a G League team, We're not playing like a G League team. We are playing a G League team. I just had this confusing phrase.
Don't disrespect Kyle Lowry like that.
He's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing tonight.
I say we got evil Steph Curry out here trying to hit threes. I don't know who this guy is.
What would Steph Curry's doppelganger's name be?
Sven Curry.
Sven.
So speaking of Steph Curry, that's a good way to segue into our first topic. So I guess last night in their win against the Denver Nuggets, one of the hotter teams in the league right now, he became the Golden State Warriors top scorer in team history. And I think he passed Wilt, which to me was maybe I don't know how long Wilt played for them, but I was like, how in the hell did Wilt end up on top of that list? Because he played for I feel like he played for everybody but them.
I don't think he played that long. My thing was, it was 15,000 points.
Yeah.
And that surprised me because I was like, Steph's in his 30s. I figured he'd have more points than that, as many threes as he shoots.
Well, he has missed some time. You have to consider he's missed maybe 2.5 seasons total because of injuries. Even more than that.
He only played for them for 3 years?
You also got to count Philly, though. It's the same team.
Oh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6. What's
TOT?
Wait.
Okay, so it's all these years. It's all the way. He played from them from 59 to 68.
PHW?
Okay, so that makes sense.
What's PHW?
Philadelphia
Warriors.
Ah.
Yeah. And
gotcha.
Then,
I was like, what city is Fua?
Wow.
Well, then at the same time, though, so I guess I thought when he played for Philly that because this team, when you click on this, it says the Sixers. But when you click on the Philadelphia Warriors, it says that. So I don't know where they divide that, but let's just say that he got to that record in 7 years. God damn, Wilt. He was dominating.
2,000 points a season.
Lord. Oh, my God. Be goody. Hey, make your free throws, you. Okay, so he did that. And in other Warriors news, 2 games ago, James Wiseman actually tore his meniscus, and he is out for the rest of the season. Oh, my God, Steph's doppelganger. What is he doing? What is going on out here? Be goody dribble. Oh, my God.
If
anyone choked to this team.
If anyone wants to know what Marco's dad sounds like, that's it right there.
What?
Oh my God! You sounded exactly like your dad.
With the high pitch? High pitch? Okay. Well, so yeah, James Wiseman tore his meniscus. In my personal opinion, I think that the Golden State Warriors will probably still hold on to that 10th spot because the Sacramento Kings are so inconsistent. What do y'all think?
I hope they don't. So actually, I had an interesting experience this morning with Steph Curry breaking the record when I was reading the articles about it. It said several Hall of Fame players weigh in on the impact or the weight of Steph Curry becoming their all-time scorer. I was like, oh, cool, let's see who this is. And I open it up, and the first person talking is Kendrick Perkins. And I was like,
oh no.
Turn it off.
I'm sorry, what? Did they label this correctly?
Steph Curry is a good chicken. I love Steph Curry chicken.
Man.
My favorite meal to eat.
Steph Curry. I couldn't stand Steph Curry back when he played. When I played for Oklahoma City. Man, all he did was shoot. I'm tired of his shooting. Just stop shooting.
All Steph Curry's legacy is trying to take championships for LeBron James. When he teamed up with KD, I'll never forgive him. Because that was the most violent one. Sorry, Perk.
Oh,
we love you.
I'm bringing Perk on the show. I'm bringing him on.
We love you, Perk.
That'll be the whole segment. Now it's Perkins time, and y'all just do your impressions the whole time. See how long he stays around.
Curry chicken is so good. So
what was the question?
Do you think the Warriors will stay in that 10th seed, or will the Kings step up and
That's right,
catch them?
So no, I don't think the Warriors are going to hold on at this point because they don't want to run Curry into the ground. I think you're going to start seeing him be used less. There's going to be some load management games thrown in there. You're going to look at them trying to tank because I mean, unless Steph Curry's just got a lot of pride, going to say, "Watch what I can do. Watch me carry this terrible team to the playoffs." Which it could be because, I mean...
Which he does. He does.
Right, he definitely does. He's the reason that they are even in contention.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be a tough out regardless just because Steph Curry could go off for 50 and beat you at any game. But I hope they don't, and I hope that the Warriors realize, hey, we could possibly have 2 top 10 picks this year to pair with this young team that we already have because they need depth. They've lost so much depth since those runs back in the day. And that's really the reason they've been struggling so bad is because anyone on the bench is just garbage for them, honestly.
Unfortunately, this draft is sort of garbage. I mean,
well,
yeah. But you can take that again and package that and throw it at someone for a player.
True that.
But I mean, granted, I said why that bench is garbage. Get the KD, the move to get KD set them up where they are now.
Yeah.
Because they had to give up so much to get him and pay him that you had to basically break down any quality depth that you had. So it screwed them in the long run. I don't think they hold the 10 seed, but it's not because the Kings aren't going to be the team that I think passes them. It's going to be the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans are going to pass them and take that 10th seed and make the playoffs. Stan Van Gundy, it'll help him try to keep his job or whatever.
Forgive me because I was incorrect because I thought the Pelicans were actually ahead of them, but I guess they fell behind them.
Yeah,
the last couple of days.
Spurs. So it's Spurs. Memphis at 8, Spurs at 9, Warriors at 10, and then the Pelicans are at 11. So I think the Pelicans are going to pass them and take that 10th seed, and so they can be a lottery. If I were them, I would shut down Steph because Steph is getting older. Yeah, Steph is getting older, and you don't want to wear him down too much because he already isn't necessarily the most. He's not LeBron. He's not a physical freak of nature.
Doesn't take steroids.
but I mean, he's known to have injuries. So I would not necessarily completely shut him down, but I would definitely start to taper his minutes down. And but you're gonna have to do it if you're gonna want to retool a few more pieces and hope that Clay finally can be healthy, because
escape the injury leprechauns and dwarves and
yeah,
and weight room.
Well, that he really, it's not even just that he stays healthy for a season, but it's about staying healthy and still being able to play at close to the level he was before the ACL and the Achilles, and that's the big problem. Then you got to think about the other pieces that are going to hurt him. Like Draymond is only regressing overall as a player, in my opinion. He's providing even less on the offensive end than he did in the past. He was never a dominant rebounder, but he's rebounding less. And it's like, all right. And then you got like Kevin Looney and a bunch of other guys who just they're okay defenders, but they provide no real offensive game. And it's just like, all right, you have to retool big time.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors are in a tough way. I do still think, I mean, the Pelicans are such a disjointed mess that I could see maybe the Spurs falling out.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could see the Spurs falling out. Maybe the Warriors being able to stand in there. But I do agree with you that the Pelicans will probably make it. But yeah, I mean, so I'm a ride with Curry and say that he probably makes it. Moving on, Jamal Murray, unfortunately last night, and this was huge for me because honestly, I think Denver is really the only team that could stand to challenge the Lakers, seriously, because they're so complete, at every position. And they added Aaron Gordon, but Jamal Murray tore his ACL last night, and he did something really tough. He waved off the wheelchair, walked to the back, and I that was very admirable. But it is unfortunate for the Nuggets, and judging by what he did last year in the bubble, even though I was saying beforehand that was just bubble Murray, and we're never going to see that Murray again. It is a huge blow. So what do y'all think about this injury that Murray suffered in the fourth quarter with only 50 seconds left? What do y'all think about this, and what does it do to their chances to let's not say title, but I mean, I almost had them penned into the Western Conference Final. Like, what do you think this just does to their playoff hopes and dreams?
You want me to take it? All right. It sucks because Jamal Murray was a guy I really, really grew fond of, even though he could be wildly inconsistent. I really liked his game. Even though he sounded kind of like Kermit the Frog, but Duke a ball. I mean, and for that to happen, especially this late in the season, he's one of the pieces that I think they couldn't afford to really lose, and so it really does put a big hole in their chance to repeat, or not repeat. What the hell am I saying? Or go back to the Western Conference Finals and challenge the Lakers, because that even though they still have Jokic, they still have most of their pieces. I mean, who do you get to replace the point guard and can produce to the level of Jamal Murray, even close to that level of Jamal Murray? And with the Markieff Moore, or what's his name?
Monta, whatever his name is. That trash dude is on the bench.
Yeah. They got a couple of good. I can't remember his name. Cam something.
Their backup point guard is Monte Morris.
Yeah, Monte
Morris.
Yeah, he's not, and they got rid of Gary Harris, who wasn't really good either, but at least
he's a good defender.
Yeah, good defender. He could dribble a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it takes them from almost Western Conference Finals lock to possible like NBA champion to like you'd be shocked if they even got to the Western Conference Finals now. Like Jokic is elite. Murray is the engine to that team, though. He makes them go, and he's such a speed demon with the ball, and his ISO game has gone to the next level this season. Like, he is very, very good. But yeah, I mean, it completely ruins their chances this year, which sucks, man, because they're such a fun team to watch. If y'all don't watch the Nuggets, they're such a fun team to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, going into that game, I was pretty much saying that, like, if the league weren't so like LeBron centric, I would feel like the Nuggets would have been my pick for like champion. Like, just because, I mean, you have MPJ, you have Gordon, Murray, and Jokic. Like, that's not even talking about the bench. But yeah, without Murray, like you're losing 20 to 30 points per game in the playoffs, and I don't see MPJ coming out and averaging 30 points per game. So, and even though Gordon, so like I feel like they can pick up the scoring, and even though Murray wasn't like a true point guard, he was a combo guard. He's like you said, he's still that engine that drove them. Like the relentless way he played in the bubble, to me, characterized why they even made it to the Western Conference Finals. Like he looked dead tired, and he was still out there dragging them. Even though obviously Jokic was obviously taking advantage of his mismatch, but it was Murray who was like, the face of that team at that moment. But
I mean, my biggest thing is one of the hardest things that they had to stop was that that Jamal Murray and Jokic pick and roll.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hard to stop because, they're both such lethal weapons. I mean, you're going to give up between 50 and 70 a night just dealing with that pick and roll. And so now with Monte Morris, really?
He may give you, in his increased time, he may give you 15 points a game.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean,
he's already averaging 10.
Now? He's averaging 10, so he'll probably go to 12. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you get an extra you get an extra 12 minutes a game, two points for that 12 minutes.
No faith.
I estimate his percentages go down, and he gets one more.
But my thing is he's much smaller. He's not as crafty or creative. So,
like Jamal was giving Paul George and Kawhi hell in the playoffs. Like, they could not guard that man.
Utah, I mean, him and Spider were going back and forth that whole series. So I mean,
Spider can't guard anybody. But no offense to him.
No offense to him. He's not a defender.
Right, he really isn't.
Now it's going all Utah. Utah's gonna win it all.
All right.
And the Mormons take the championship.
Mormons finally can celebrate. They didn't even want to celebrate. That's like imagine winning a title in Utah.
Oh man.
Hey man, they get down in Provo.
You said what?
They get down in Provo.
But it's like what's his name on basically that movie Basketball. It's like the Jazz moved to Utah where they don't allow music.
Right. It's like you can't. It's like a super dry parade. Everybody's quiet.
You're clapping too exuberantly.
Right. So anyway, moving on. So in other news, in relation to the Daunte Wright story, the Minnesota Nets game was postponed yesterday, as well as the Twins and Red Sox game. So Minnesota seems like hell on earth in the past couple of years. What the hell is going on in Minnesota?
That's why the only two black people that used to live there was Prince and Kirby Puckett.
Right. Prince even died in Minnesota. So Anywho, so moving on. I wanted to bring this up. I saw this conversation being had with this NBA TV documentary coming out about the 1996 draft. There's been a lot of discussion as to which draft class is the best. And I highlighted 3 here just to sort of let y'all pick between. And obviously you can say another one if you want to. The 1984 draft, the 1996 draft, and the 2003 draft. And I'll just go and read you some of the people that were produced by these drafts. Let's see. So, they got that 85 draft ranked number 3. Okay, so in the 2003 draft, obviously we had LeBron James, D. Wade, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, David West, Kyle Korver, Kirk Heinrich, Boris Dia, Zaza Pachulia. Let's see if it tells me how many championships they combined for. It's 47 All-Star game appearances, 29 All-NBA teams. And I think they had some crazy number like 24 titles, but that's all these dudes played together. So like that doesn't. That doesn't impress me much. And then we have the 1996 draft. That was Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, Peja Stojakovic, Marcus Camby, Stephon Marbury, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Jermaine O'Neal, Derek Fisher, Eric Dampier. Damn, that's deep. And then obviously the favorite one for a lot of people is the 1984 draft, where we had Michael Jordan, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Otis Thorpe, take him or leave him, Sam Perkins, Kevin Willis, Michael Cage, Jerome Kersey, and Alvin Robertson. Some of those late names, some people might know, but a lot of those guys were super solid. Just like Kevin
Kersey
Willis.
was hella good.
Kersey was hella good. Alvin Robertson. Michael Cage was like a Dennis Rodman kind of player. So what do y'all think? Who do y'all think? And by the way, that one is 47 All-Star games, 45 NBA teams, 23 all-defensive teams, 10 scoring titles, blah, 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 8 NBA championships, 7 MVPs. Let's see if it says for Kobe's class. Kobe's class, 18 All-Stars. Wait, no, that's not right.
That was Kobe.
That's Kobe alone. Wait, I don't know why it doesn't say it for this one. I hate on. Oh wait, no, here we go. We got 3 MVPs, 10 picks with a combined 64 All-Star games. Damn.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't say any of the other stats, but obviously we know how good some of those players are. So what do y'all think? What's y'all's pick for best draft class thus far? And I'd say Zion's is pretty deep, but I'd say it's too early to consider that one yet.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and surprise a lot of y'all. It's 84, hands down. There's not 84 is so leaps and bounds better than any other draft class. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Why you say that?
I mean, hell, you've got Michael Jordan, the GOAT. You've got Charles Barkley. Well, you got John Stockton, who could be argued as the best point guard ever. You got Hakeem Olajuwon, who could be argued as the best center of all time. You've got Charles Barkley, who was one of the best power forwards the game had ever seen for the longest time.
I put him at second best all time. Behind Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I mean, before Duncan, it was Barkley, though.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, like, just that alone, you could make a starting 5 that's, like, all NBA all time out of that draft class.
Unbeatable.
Like, good luck. I mean, hell, like, 96, I would say, is still better than LeBron's class, just because you've got Kobe, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, Starbury, Sharif. Sharif was a hella good power forward. Peja Stojakovic was a sniper from 3. But the fact that 84 is just so much better than that class, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 84. That's a good point though, because like you could literally make a starting 5 out of this class that could not be beat. Stockton, Jordan, Hakeem, Charles Barkley. Either your pick of Kevin Willis or Sam Perkins, Alvin Robertson could be in there. Whereas I don't know who would you pick, Steve Nash or Allen Iverson as your point guard?
Steve Nash as my point guard. Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm. And then would you put Allen Iverson at 2, or
I'd put,
or maybe not have him at all?
I would say Nash at the 1, Kobe at the 2 or 3, Ray Allen at the 2 or 3. You interchange those 2. Sharif at the 4, and either Camby or Jermaine O'Neal at the 5, mm-hmm. and then have Iverson as the 6th man.
Yep.
Which is crazy to say, Iverson as the 6th man, but like that's just how I would build my team.
Sounds good. What do you think, Micah?
84.
They could punch people back then.
So you have the all-time leading shot blocker in Hakeem Olajuwon. You have the all-time leading steals and assists leader in John Stockton. You've got the GOAT in Michael Jordan. You've got Charles Barkley, who, while he doesn't lead in any categories, was just a monster at 6'4" or 6'6", whatever he actually is. Was a rebound and finishing around the rim machine. The round mound of rebound. Or the leaning tower of pizza. Yeah, I mean, it's just like you could create an unstoppable team, a starting five, and that like 96 was a somewhat close second because of how many good players. But when you just look at the Hall of Famers, just those few Hall of Famers in the and I mean like just easy Hall of Famers in that 84 draft, it's just like I can't I can't put the 96 class over them.
I mean, the 85 draft is like the all big man draft. Are you looking at this? It's Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing. Then you got Terry Porter, Detlef Schrempf, AC Green, Chris Mullin, Charles Oakley, Joe Dumars, Hot Rod Williams, and Tyrone Corbin. Like,
yeah, that draft's no joke either. Like Chris Mullin, Joe Dumars, two of the best guards in history.
Karl Malone like them Beanie Babies.
And them little girls. Sorry. 1985 disqualified.
Oh man. Yeah. That Joe Dumars was very underrated. Terry Porter, another really great shooter.
Yeah, and the knock on LeBron's draft is that it sort of really falls off after LeBron D Wade.
Hold on. I'm sorry, but we picked John Koncak over Mullin, Schrempf, Oakley, Karl Malone. Oh my God.
We weren't even alive for it, and it still hurts.
Wayman Tisdale was the number 2 pick, who had a better Jazz career than an NBA career. But you know, it is what it is.
Right. John Koncak, man. That's even worse than Marvin Williams or Josh Childress.
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say
Law.
that. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about AC Law. God. First round picks, bus.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with I was saying this with my friends the other day, the 85 by far, because I guess, I mean, they were sort of biased with the 96 because I guess we grew up with that. And there's so much skill, like Kobe, Ray, Steve Nash, and Allen Iverson alone. They're like, wow, that's incredible. But at the same, like you said, it's when you can build a team that's unbeatable out of one draft, I don't know how you give it to anybody else.
I mean, but like I said, the statistical leaders, you have 2 guys who are statistical leaders in 3 categories. and here's the thing. John Stockton is so far ahead of everybody in both steals and assists. I don't think anybody's going to catch him. Period. Even LeBron. I don't know if LeBron can catch him at this point.
I forget what the stat was. They said something like, I forget who the player was. It was like Chris Paul or something. They said they can average 9 assists for the next 5 years and still not even be close to John Stockton.
Well, like here's the thing. As great as Jason Kidd was as a true point guard, he's still like 500 or something assists behind. It might be more than that.
Jason Kidd is 3,000 assists behind John Stockton.
God.
Steve Nash is 5,000 assists behind.
So who's number 2 on the list?
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd, yeah.
With 12,000.
3,000? Oh my
He's got
God.
12,091 assists, and John Stockton has 15,806.
Yeah, so it's not even close.
And then
John Stockton was a dog.
Steals, he's 600 ahead of Jason Kidd.
Oh yeah. God. So Jason Kidd's number 2 in steals too?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And not to mention, I mean, like Hakeem is way ahead in block shots too. It's like I don't think anybody's on a pace to come close to passing.
No one even really block shots like that in the league
He's
anymore.
600 ahead of Dikembe.
Yeah.
Is there anyone current on that list?
Rudy Gobert is probably like 25th.
Dwight Howard is 1,700 behind Hakeem.
So he's top 5?
No, Dwight Howard's 13th.
Damn.
1,700.
That the only active player is 13th on the list.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh man.
Domination. But yeah, John.
That's what happens when you play a big man game. Though you get a lot more opportunities to block shots.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then this positionless basketball, you don't have many rim protectors. Like you have, even your Rudy Gobert's, so many bigs that play out on the wing now that he can't.
Right.
He's
not going to get there quick enough to really be blocking people. Yeah, people don't challenge at the rim like they used to. So, but I mean, John Stockton, just to give him, his roses, that dude was tough as nails. Like never missed games, played hurt. And for someone, like I watched a lot of his like games and highlights, for someone who never really went left, like this dude barely even dribbled or left or passed left. It was always right-handed passes. Like, gosh. Yeah, man. Hella impressive.
John Stockton is so vastly underappreciated in our generation.
Because he wasn't flashy. There was no flash about his game. It was 100% fundamental. But
tough as nails.
Bro, like they talked about his picks. They said nobody set dirtier picks than John Stockton.
And he would always have to set a pick on the 4 because he was always setting screens for Karl Malone. So they were coming through blasting his ass. Karl Malone was like, right. He was like, he would feel bad about having to use John Stockton's screens. He would apologize to him. But yeah, even Gary Payton was like, that's the only player he couldn't get to because John Stockton would just ignore him. He would just ignore all his trash talk.
Bro, I still remember the 30 for 30 on the Dream Team and said how John Stockton got off the bus and was walking through the Barcelona with his family and nobody realized who it was except like they said one kid like John Stockton's son sees a guy with the Dream Team t-shirt and it's like, Daddy, there's you. And he looks down and it's like, oh wait.
It's funny. I heard something about the Dream Team it's even funnier, like how much Michael Jordan hated Isaiah Thomas. But I heard that John Stockton was actually like severely injured during that Olympic team. Like he had something was broken, but he still played. But the fact that they wouldn't go and get Isaiah Thomas still is hilarious. Because Jordan was pretty much like, yeah, I'm not going to play on the team if Isaiah Thomas is here. Man, Isaiah Thomas is so fun.
Fractured of the lower right leg.
Right. And he was still playing.
Like, hey.
God damn.
They're like, all right, we're going to bring in Isaiah. Jordan's like,
who? For real? Are y'all serious?
Isaiah who?
Isaiah Ryder?
Isaiah Ryder? He's in college. Okay, so moving on. We got to talk about KD. He got another beef, and
does he?
So he got in a beef with Shannon Sharpe, our favorite Shay. And essentially it led to Shannon blocking him. He blocked KD. But let me read you what was said. So, let me get this order right. Okay, he says, "Oh, Shannon refuses to respond to me. Yo, Shannon, why are you using your platform to push fake quotes about me?" And then he says, "KD, if you want to talk to me, I'm not hard to find, but I'm not going back and forth on social media. Whatever our differences are, they can be handled out of the eye of social media." 2 thumbs up. And then Kevin Durant fired back, "We can talk in front of everybody. It ain't that serious, Shannon. You go on TV in front of everybody pushing fake shit, but now you want to talk in private. Why are you lying on TV, Shannon?" Block. Why is KD so let me not do that angle. Do y'all agree with KD here, or whose side are you taking, Shay or KD?
I'm going Shay, man. I don't like, you can't even call KD's grudges beef anymore. It's like impossible beef. It's not even real beef. It's fake. It's vegan beef. Like, I'm with Shannon. Like, and plus, KD, you don't want anything to do with Shannon Sharpe. He will drag you up and down the street. Like, I don't care how old Shannon Sharpe is. You don't want none of that. You don't want none of that. Like, especially if if KD really wants to talk trash, that's not someone you want to talk trash with.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, man. I'm with Shannon all the way. Look, you know, we talked a little bit about this earlier, Marco, and I said it'd be one thing if KD interacted with all his fans and everyone who, like, you know, even the ones who praised him as well as the ones who you know, took jabs at him, but he only responds to the folks who are critical. And it's like, bruh, what, bro, what do you just want? Do you want no one to just talk about you? Just, do you want to just be the guy that just nobody, just like matter, just ignore KD. We don't care. Don't show us highlights. Screw him. You know, whatever. He's irrelevant now. Just don't talk about him because he's too sensitive. He can't take it. So, or I mean, I don't get it, man. You are a public figure. You're arguably the best player in the NBA in some people's minds. So why is it that any criticism gets you ready to fight everybody? It's just like, God, man, let it go, bruh. I mean, even if it does bother you, use it as fuel for your game, but stop getting on these Twitter beefs and whatever, in, like, you know, Instagram and whatnot, with every single person who has any kind of criticism against you. You're not going to win. It just makes you look like a weak, you know, overly sensitive mama's boy.
Not a mama's boy. Not a mama's boy.
I'm just saying, like, bro, what man do you know that's that sensitive, especially in that position? And it's like, bro, you can't say anything even somewhat negative without you know, taking it and having to respond to it. It's like, bro, it is what it is, part of the territory. Not everybody is going to speak highly of you, and not everybody is going to constantly heap praise your way. So you take the good with the bad and just keep it pushing. Or even if you don't like the bad, use that as motivation to keep pushing yourself. You don't have to harp and attack everybody who's critical.
All right. So let me read the quote that was the fake quote that Shannon actually said. So I guess on the show they played this quote. It says, this is allegedly from KD. It says, "People try to discredit my rings, but honestly, I feel like they're the most valuable of our era. People argue LeBron James is the GOAT, but if I beat him in back-to-back finals, then what does that make me?" That is the quote that had KD saying, "Y'all drunk Oakle out here lying again. When did I say this, Shannon Sharpe?" So my opinion, when I first, I'm obviously not on KD's side all the way, but I did think that was sort of lame for Shannon to be like, let's not do this on TV, or let's not do this on social media, when he does go on TV every day and air out people. So I don't see why not do it on social media. But at the same time, like you said, KD has to get a thicker skin. Like, I got to say it again, like, look at how Trae Young handles social media. Like, this dude gets the most hate out of anybody. He's like 21 and he's out here being like, better or next. What does he say? Every day he posts the same thing, like something about blessings, or next day, another day, another opportunity.
Another day, another opportunity.
You know what I mean? He doesn't ever respond to that hate. Katie is just so thin-skinned, and quite honestly, I can see him saying that. Like, I don't know if that's a fake quote. Like, that seems like something Katie would say.
Right.
But yeah,
it might have not been his exact words, but I could definitely say him saying something close to that.
And even so, that's almost like, to me, that's like, I wouldn't even mind someone lying to me with a quote like that, because I guess he's too worried about his friendship with LeBron and what LeBron might think. But I'd be like, hell yeah, of course I think I'm better than LeBron. Like, why wouldn't you want? You know, I don't get why you would try to argue that. Like, oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say I'm better than LeBron. Like, wait, don't you think that though? Like, soft, so soft. So moving on to Hawks talk. So we just got another W without Trae Young, without John Collins, without Gallinari, without Hunter, without we don't gotta say Reddish, but without Reddish or Dunn.
Where is Reddish?
No one knows. He's going to be reevaluated allegedly on tomorrow, or no, the 15th. So hopefully we'll get some good news about him. And I don't know if we mentioned this last week, but the Hawks are a good team now, and we're not. It's like we're managing to win all these games without full cast and convincingly. It's not like we're like, well, this game was a little weird because B. Goody didn't want to hit his free throws, but we're like convincingly beating all these teams, good or bad. Like we came out and destroyed the Bulls after they were on a run after getting Vucevic. We came out and laid the smack down. What other team did we just beat? Obviously, Charlotte was surging, but obviously they're missing their two best players.
No. Their best player took the worst shot of the game.
Oh, my God. That was hilarious.
Terry Rozier did Terry Rozier things.
Terry, that's the thing about Terry. Like, Terry and Devontae Graham, I don't want to say they're fringe G Leaguers, but they're definitely not starting point guards in the NBA. So take from that what it will. But anyway, the Hawks have been winning despite missing a full cast. What is y'all's opinion on, like, are you excited about how good we've been looking? Like, how do y'all feel about what's been going on with the Hawks as of late?
Mikey, you can go first. I'm trying to figure out why our stream is lagging so bad.
My thing has been, it's exactly what we talked about. I think Nate McMillan as a head coach has changed so much. It's changed a huge dynamic in how we attack teams, the adjustments we make. Just overall, it's a breath of fresh air. We finally have a coach that I somewhat believe in. Not to mention, I laughed. Like I said, I keep going back to this. I found it hilarious that analysts claimed that the Clippers won the trade between us and them because they got Rondo. And it's like, oh yeah, Rajon Rondo is the piece that they needed, and so on and so forth. He's been trash. And
just like he was here.
yeah. He looks like a guy who's uninterested and doesn't want to play anymore, who's just collecting a check. And meanwhile, Lou Williams has been the spark we needed. He's a leader in the locker room, dude putting up points. Bogey's out there balling and looking like the piece that we paid all that money for. And I mean it's great. I love it. And it only gives me hope for when we do get fully healthy, which is hopefully before the playoffs, and give those guys time to build some chemistry. And it's like, oh man, I still won't necessarily say like Eastern Conference Finals, but could we go in the second round and make some, like, go game 7 in the second round or something? Absolutely. I think, we talked about early in the year that Brad Stevens said the Hawks were the deepest team in the NBA. And I truly, with Nate McMillan as the head coach now, all of that depth is truly starting. The depth and talent that we have is truly starting to show, and it's making Brad Stevens look even more right. So with Lloyd Pierce.
Right, and there I go again on mute. Run it back for the people. God, I am all over it tonight. What I was saying for those on YouTube, this is because of Nate McMillan. This is all Nate McMillan's fingerprints all over this. Like, these are games we would have lost before without Nate McMillan, and he's really turned this team around. But it's just really impressive to see, man. Like, I don't think this is a facade anymore. It's not like me thinking, oh, the Hawks are just hot. Like, oh, and by the way, you owe Brandon Goodwin an apology, Marco.
Be Goody. Mike is the one who'd be savage and Be Goody. Yeah.
You're not a fan.
I call him a walking turnover.
He's played exceptionally well these last two games. Like,
yeah, I mean, Nate, it's like with Lloyd Pierce, he was definitely just like a liability. He just looked lost out there. But everybody looks so much better with Nate McMillan at the helm. Even the guys who look lost, like a Kongwu at times.
Yeah,
man,
he's looking so much better. And with Nate, calling plays and kind of giving guidance.
Like, Kongwu, you're finally starting to see something out of him, because good Lord, he looked like such a bust.
Which makes me wonder, what was Lloyd Pierce doing in practice and stuff before?
I don't know what the hell Lloyd Pierce was doing.
all right, guys, just I guess just dribble in the corner.
Run some plays, shoot some threes, get Trey the ball.
Actually, don't get Trey the ball because I hate him. It's like, Coach, I'm standing right here.
That Trey Young guy. Have y'all been watching tape? Matter of fact, guys, here we're going to watch on tape today. We're going to watch about plays we shouldn't do in the NBA from across the league. It's all just Trey Young turnovers.
John Collins. We're going to run through John Collins. Whole offense, John Collins.
He went up to John Collins. John Collins, you hate this kid, right? Wait, what? I didn't say that, Coach.
John's like, I really want to play here. I like it here in Atlanta.
Oh.
Are there cameras around here, Coach?
It's this candid camera.
He wrote something on a paper, gave it to John to say. He's like, read that, John. I hate Trey's shot selection. Wait, Coach.
Makes bad decisions and is not a good point guard. The Hawks should trade him.
Coach, I didn't mean.
Who wrote this? He cut the camera 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, so yeah, man, it's so refreshing. Like you said, Nate McMillan, just time and time again, like when he does it everywhere he goes, you have to acknowledge that it's just, he's a great coach. And this is the most talent he's ever had. And even when we don't have talent, he's still out here, even though Charlotte and if any games to not have Trey, it's Charlotte and Toronto or Tampa.
Tampa.
Tampa?
You said Tampa.
Yeah, the Tampa Raptors. I mean, they're not playing like Toronto Raptors. I've never seen a Toronto Raptor team do that.
Hey, Steph Curry's doppelganger is mad at you right now.
His name was Malachi Flynn, by the way. Malachi Flynn.
Oh, that sounds Malachi Flynn. Micah, you all right?
Yeah. Yeah. Laughing and drinking is not necessarily not a good thing.
How'd Micah die? Well,
so anywho,
he drowned.
In other news, so Hawks, we can expect, like I said earlier, Chris Dunn, DeAndre Hunter, and Cam Reddish are expected to be out at least until April 15th against Milwaukee. I don't really know what that means, but like I said, let's just say that's going to be a reevaluation, because I do not see any of those three players playing in 2 days. I don't see that happening.
No.
But and then in Danilo Gallinari news, so today Trey was questionable and Danilo was doubtful. I'm not even really sure what injury Danilo got. Was it that leg injury that he had suffered when he came back? Okay. Yeah. So it's still that lingering thing. And then John Collins is expected to make his return on Monday against the Pacers, which is good because we're going to need that size against Sabonis out there. And just as this last topic to sort of segue into Micah's segment, I wanted to bring this up because I heard it this weekend on the radio, and I thought the answer was pretty obvious, but I want to get y'all's opinions on this. So imagine a scenario in 5 years when the Hawks are amazing. Trae Young is a superstar getting MVP votes. And then you look over at the Braves. The Braves are also incredible. And Acuna is also getting MVP votes. Obviously, that's sort of already happening. But the question is, if these two teams are at the top of their game and in the top of their sport, who of Acuna versus Trae is going to be the bigger star in that scenario?
Micah, you can go first if you want.
All right. So considering that basketball is the bigger sport, I believe that Trae will be the bigger star. More marketability, more personality. He's not to mention Acuna, Acuna is not the strongest English speaker, right. Not the strongest. So, you're just looking from like a marketability standpoint and stuff. Trae, it's easy. It's so much easier for Trae to get the fame and whatnot. And although even if Acuna might technically be the better at his sport, you're looking at, you asked about who's the bigger star, and I got to go with Trae just because off of the fact that the NBA is a much bigger entity than the MLB will ever be. And that just like I said, pure marketability, Trae is much better.
I'll say that Trae will be the bigger star for sure. Again, Micah's right. But Acuna is going to be the richer player. He's going to make far more money. What? Those NBA contracts are big, but they're not MLB contracts.
Yeah, but Acuna already signed the 10-year deal.
Is it a 10-year deal?
Yes, we signed him 10 years for $150 million.
The homeboy deal.
I thought it was like 7.
No. We locked him up for 10, and we locked up Albies for 9. 9 for like 45 for Albies.
It's like, y'all want to play together for the next 10 years, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
it'll be,
of course.
So it's an 8-year, $100 million deal.
Starts getting in max and super max money.
Yeah, he'll trump.
It's not even going to be close.
After next year, he's going to trump that deal.
Yeah, that's got to be the best contract in sports, man.
It had when he signed it, everybody was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, because they signed him well before he could come close to hitting arbitration, and they were like, "We want this guy long term," and they locked him up at a much discounted rate than what. So he's not going to make close to the amount of money that like Bryce Harper is getting right now.
Right. Oh yeah. So yeah, I'll take that back then. I did not realize it was that. Man, wow, what a deal.
Yikes.
Unless after those 10, let's see, Acuna will be 30 when it's done.
Yeah, but then you're looking at potentially 5-6 more years as an outfielder, unless he's moving to like first base or EH.
So yeah, there's a potential there, but I honestly think Acuna has, even though his language is a barrier, he does have a high potential for marketability. You see them putting Tatis Jr. in all these commercials.
Yeah.
I guess he speaks pretty good English, but
yeah. But Tatis is what is his family's been here versus like Acuna, Albie still translates for Acuna. Now, I feel like Albies is a more marketable thing. First of all, you have to realize where the majority of baseball's fan base is. And majority of baseball's fan base, are white Americans. Just let's be honest. Or the MLB, it's white Americans and Hispanic Americans. Yeah, they can translate, but like, but the white Americans, most of them don't speak Spanish. They prefer that everybody speaks English. So, of course, they're not going to relate as much with an Acuna. Now they love Acuna as long as he's playing well, but I like I said, Albies would be a much more marketable guy because they can at least understand what he's saying. So,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a tough comparison, right? Because the NBA is a global game, and while the MLB sort of is too, it's like their marketability as a whole just doesn't really hit like that. It's like I feel like they need a new team of people in there because it's like I said earlier, it's like I could see Mike Trout at Kroger, and I would have no idea who the hell that is, and he's been the best player for like 5 years. You know what I mean?
like Aaron Judge, right? Aaron Judge walks past, just like, good God, that guy's like 6'8".
I'll say if I saw Aaron Judge, I would know that was Aaron Judge. And maybe if I saw Bruce Harper, if I saw Bryce, I would know that was him. Probably, maybe.
Yeah, man. But I mean, it's just like I said. The crazy thing is, football players. A lot of football players. Football is a lot more popular, but even though football players wear helmets and you can't see their face, you can recognize a lot more top football players than you can top baseball players.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I'm a Braves fan, but like I said, I could walk past Mike Soroka in the local Kroger and not realize, like, yo, that's Mike Soroka.
Even, and it's funny, like even watching them on TV all the time, I'd still probably look right past them.
Yeah. Or it might be one of those things like that guy looks familiar for some reason. Right. I can't put my finger on it, but he looks familiar. Yeah. Versus like if you walk past Matt Ryan or Julio Jones, be like, yo, that's Matt. Oh, that's Julio.
Right. Like I was driving over there by Piedmont. I passed Matt Ryan, and he was so distinguishable. I was like, oh shit, that was Matt Ryan. But then I don't know, is that like a current thing? Because I feel like in the 90s there were so many stars that were identifiable, from Ken Griffey to Barry Bonds to Jeter to A-Rod to Piazza to all these guys that were just like sort of iconic.
I think
even Chipper.
Randy Johnson.
I think the game is. I think part of the thing is baseball's traditionalism works against them. So, it's the times have changed. People like more flash and so on and so forth, but baseball has kind of stayed the same. And a lot of people who were once interested in, now granted, if you love baseball, you're always going to love baseball, but the younger generation doesn't have the same appreciation for baseball as the older generation does, because it's too slow for them. So naturally they gravitate to the games with more action. And so now they recognize those stars more so than, like baseball or like the Ken Griffey. Well, then
I didn't put the cork in that. Sammy Sosa. There was just so many stars in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, the stars of the game back then, you stood out. A lot of people loved baseball, but now, like I said, the demographic. Like you had people of all colors and that loved baseball in the 80s and 90s. Like, my parents, my grandparents, they loved baseball. I got an 88-year-old aunt. Baseball is her favorite sport. But like, a lot of younger generation, like folks our age and younger, it's just too slow of a sport for them. It's like watching golf. So it's harder to keep up. It's harder for us to keep up with. So, plus it's 162 games. You're not going to sit there and watch 162 slow-paced games so yeah, it's just, it is what it is. Times have changed. People look for more, they give their attention to more fast-paced things, So baseball is kind of falling by the wayside as far as viewership.
Hey, that sounds like a great opportunity to transition.
And this brings you to the Suicide Squeeze. Brought to you by Tropicana Orange Juice.
Not a sponsor.
not an actual sponsor. You need to flash that across the screen. Yeah. So, first of all, overall, in big news, big MLB wide news. First and foremost, the Yankee center fielder Aaron Hicks sits out. Makes a decision to sit out this game due to protest and police shooting of Daunte Wright. Truly support you. Although you look like a creative player from NBA 2K, I support the decision. I mean, there is a small portion of the league who are of black players in the MLB, and so it's always appreciated. It's big for when they make a stance, and it's appreciated.
You think Aaron Hicks looks like a 2K character?
Yeah.
You mean Aaron Judge?
No, Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks looks like a creative player?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just he just has this very generic look to him.
Oh, okay. He's a brown shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. And in other MLB news, the Cleveland Indians outfielder Yu Chang shares his shares that he received racist comments after making an error that cost them a game against the White Sox. This is ridiculous. The Asian hate is crazy. We're at a period where y'all want to say something. I'm just kind of tired of that.
Shout out to Hideki Matsuyama for winning the Masters.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a byproduct of the Trump era. That's
Yeah.
all it is. This is these people that bought into that and still continue it. I mean, there's people still making videos calling it the China virus and the
Kung flu.
The Kung flu. Like and they're the same people. They're like, you can't make me wear a mask.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't even just want to say that, because like I know there's still a lot of racism in the fan bases in baseball. Like Torrey Hunter openly came out and said he would never play for the Red Sox because of some of the things Red Sox fans some of the racist things they've said to him over the years. And it's just like, come on now, this is ridiculous. This is not even Trump era. It was just fans just randomly just being racist to him because he playing against them. So,
Yeah.
But so now we get into the Braves talk. So the Braves were screwed out of a game the other night, as it's been 2 days, and 2 days later, and the Phillies player has still not touched the plate. He was about 8 inches away from touching the plate, yet somehow was safe. And MLB replay is an absolute joke. Because if you can do replay, see that it's they talked about NFL replay being a joke because of that play against the Aints in the Rams game. No, MLB is an absolute joke. One was a bang bang play. This one wasn't a bang bang play. Dude never came close to touching the plate and was somehow still called safe and cost us that game. It's like, it was almost like they got paid, just like, oh, I'm trying to get out of here, man. I got to go home. I got to watch my show on tonight. I got Grey's Anatomy TiVo'd. I got to get home.
It's a shame too, because it's a division game, and this division is going to be hella close this year. So that game could be so costly. It's like I almost wonder, is there a precedent to replay this because of their error?
Bro, I'm waiting to see if New York makes some kind of judgment. And honestly, I'm surprised I haven't heard anything from New York, because typically baseball, like when the umps make a mistake, New York has something to say, even if they don't necessarily criticize the umpires. They at least make a statement like, yeah, we might have missed that call, or so on and so forth. But it's been radio silence from my end, from what I can see. Also in other Braves news, like, what the hell's wrong with Fried, man? What is going on? We went from lights out Cy Young contestant, or Cy Young finalist, to
he has an 11.45 ERA right now.
Oh my God. Like, bro, what is the pressure of him being the ace too much for him right now?
What have you been seeing when you watched him? Like, what looks wrong?
Just location off. Now, I mean, he's still throwing good stuff, but it's like he's missing and he's getting shelled. It's almost predictable. It's just like, bruh, what is going on? Like his last outing, 4 innings pitched, 9 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned against the Marlins tonight. So
are we winning or losing that?
We're down.
Bottom of the 9th or top of the 9th right now.
14-6.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of Fried's stuff this year, but from what I'm seeing is he's just getting hard contact all throughout right now. It's like some of his movement might be off, might be a little not as crisp as it was. And Fried has had these moments early in his career. Hopefully this is just a little blip, because I mean, the guy's got stuff. I mean, we felt confident going into this year that he is a number 2, could be easily a number 1. It could just be one of those spells, but I don't know, man. I don't have an answer as to what's exactly wrong with him. Someone's having a snack back there.
No. I'm just.
Oh. Well, yeah. It's just I don't think anything's wrong with him. He could come out next game and go 7 and give up 1 or less.
Yeah.
But if it does go another one like this where he's giving up a lot, we have to take him out of the rotation for a little while.
He's looking a little Tukey Tucson-ish.
Yeah. But contrary to that, Huascar Yanoa, what a surprise, man. Holy crap.
But, I mean, he got some of the most work during spring training, though. Because, him, Bryce Wilson, Kyle Wright, those were guys that got a lot of innings pitched, because they were fighting to make that 40-man roster or 25-man roster, how many we started the season with. Right. It was just they were all fighting for it. So they got a lot of innings pitched, and they got a lot of attention and work. And so yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he's been pitching well, though.
I mean, I'm trying to find his stats from the last game. Let's see. But so far in the season, he's started 2 games, pitched 12 innings, given up 1 earned run.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got an 11.3 K per 9 innings. I mean, that's lights out. But then we got people like Drew Smiley and Max Fried out here just looking like batting practice.
Smiley, I watched Smiley's game yesterday though, and it was almost every time they started to brag on his curveball, he gave up a home run off of it. It was like, oh, this guy has an incredible curveball. Home run. God, oh, my God. Stop the jinx. It's like, like we talked about the shooters. This guy's made 96 straight free throws, 2 more, and he'll break the record. Brick. Oh no.
All right, yeah. So last game, he actually got a no decision on this. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. That was a home run. Only walked 1 and K'd 10.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good line.
Yeah. So.
But that is all for the Suicide Squeeze.
Marco, did you? I want to screen grab that one. Oh man. So, anybody have any lightning round questions? I see we have one here, but I don't know.
There's a lightning round question where?
At the very bottom, it's called speed round. But lightning round question.
Didn't you say you had one that you were saving last week, Micah?
I mean, I always have some ideas on them. So what was, I would say, but it's complex though, and that's the only reason why I don't necessarily want to use it. You know, it was kind of like a quote or something that, like a song or something that's kind of stuck with you.
Oh, I've got something similar to that based around music.
What's up?
So we'll do a 2-parter then. So the one that we have on here is, what is your favorite track by DMX?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go through that one first. Micah, what's yours?
That's hard. It's so tough because I love DMX, especially his older stuff. I might have to go with How's It Going Down.
Oh.
That's just, it doesn't matter what mood I'm in. That's always a song that, you know, like it doesn't make me angry. It's just kind of a good vibe and, you know, relax and chill and listen to it. So.
Yeah. Marco, what's yours?
I'm politicking with the chicken, wondering if I'm a briefy little hood rat chick. But made he feel, then Tamika coming
through like I do, you know.
Getting my bark on.
When I met her, she had a scar
ball.
54-11 size 7 and girl.
Girlfriend, you remember me from way back on the same cat with the way cat? Yeah, that was the one I was gonna say too.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go with the one that holds the most nostalgia for me, and that's gonna be Rough Riders Anthem, man.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time that came on TV, I was like, "What the hell?" I mean, what? I was probably 10, maybe. When did that come out? Maybe
it was
12.
That was
about 12. It was 98.
Yeah.
I think it was 98. The only thing that one brings one of my most, like the Woodstock performance.
Oh God, yeah.
And where it looked like he's literally performing in front of the entire world in his red overalls. It's like,
that
God.
shit was crazy. Like the fact that you're DMX performing at Woodstock like that, like at the
Right.
height of what, like
Transcendent.
Boy. I mean, it was literally like people as far as you could see.
Yeah.
And then I have like a tie that's after that. It's either going to be X Gon Give It To You or Party Up. I really like those two.
Mm-hmm.
Who was in Party Up? It was not Raekwon. It was there was someone else on the track. It was
Was it
Dragon?
I think it was Dragon. Yeah.
He was on Rough Riders, wasn't he?
Dragon I thought was going to be really big, but didn't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did his name, was that like a play on dragons, or was it like a play on smoking weed? And
yeah, I don't know what that one was.
I want to say Dragon, but who knows?
I always thought that was a bad name for
Yeah, he just drags on and on and on. Like the man's never shuts up.
Oh man.
So linked to that, I was listening to some music in the kitchen today as I was cleaning up, and I threw on Offspring. I was like, I haven't listened to them in a long, long time. And I was listening to the words. I was like, man, this really doesn't mean anything. Like,
what song?
It was, damn it, what was it? It was You're Gonna Go Far, Kid.
Is that
Dance, sucker, dance?
Okay, not that one. I'm thinking of the kids. The kids are all right.
Yeah, which
that song's about suicide.
Right. And I was listening to this, and I was like, man, I used to love Offspring as a kid. Like, probably around that same area. And man, my tastes were all over the place. And that's one thing about this. I was thinking about it. As far as this podcast goes, like, our diversity in music and our taste in diversity in music is like full spectrum, like literally full spectrum. All three of us have listened to everything and really like just about anything. That's not something you find too often.
I'm not much of a country or bluegrass fan, but
not much of a Lenny Kravitz fan.
I want to get away.
I swear, I've been trying to. That was going to be one of my lightning rounds. Like, what artist can't you stand? I was like, I've tried to go and listen to Lenny Kravitz. Like, I'm on the third album now, and I'm like, God, he's so derivative. He's such a poser.
You throwing salt until he end up with J-Lo.
No, but he's like, I swear, he's the king of like jam band music. Like, he'll take an average groove and jam on it for like 5 minutes. Like, this groove isn't even that good. It's like, just end the song, man.
Cut it out, Lenny.
What a poser he is.
He got by on his looks and his he was marketable.
Very marketable. He's the guy you're talking to at a party, and then you turn back like, bro, what happened to your shirt?
For real, like that's probably one of the reasons I didn't like him growing up, because he was so like overtly sexual, and I was like, the music's not even that good, and he was just all like.
All of his guitar riffs sound exactly the same too.
Yeah,
exactly the same. That was another one that I liked for a little bit, and then after 5, I think I was like, I'm gonna listen to that one next, and then I'm gonna be done. But 5 was pretty good.
It
wasn't anything great, but it was pretty good.
Okay.
But so that one was like, listening to the Offspring, I was like, man, this is like, just makes me feel like a young teenager again. And I was like, this is just like teenage angst bottled up for me. Are there any bands or songs like that like you listen to, like, that really makes you think of like young? I'm not talking about like, like high school. I'm talking about like young teenage. Like, I'm just full of like, I'm becoming a teenager. What's going on?
Mine would be probably like TLC. They don't go chasing waterfalls. I can remember sitting in my living room in Marietta, just like watching that on MTV. Just like sitting there being like, oh, what an interesting video. Little did I know the song was about HIV. Right. I didn't know that then.
God, and also 90s songs were so full of like toxicity and like as far as relationship goes. I was listening, I was like, God, no wonder.
Don't trust anyone.
Literally.
Oh man.
The more she hates you, or the more, what is the song? Damn, I forget it now. It was like,
then they're just gonna creep if they're once they're not too proud to beg, and you give in, they're just gonna end up creeping. And I creep. Yeah, it's creeping.
I'm surprised, Marco. I'm surprised you can go with something in sync related.
Well, I was thinking like young, but
you're all I ever wanted.
Honestly, if anything in sync is really my sister's memories, because I'm really just thinking of times when she was playing. No, for real, I'm being honest, because it's not like I never honestly, I never listened to NSYNC by myself until I was like 20s. Other than that, it would just be around her playing it, because she played it a lot. But yeah, those aren't my memories.
She still does.
I'm sure.
All right.
Oh wait, I didn't go.
One? Yeah.
Honestly, DMX. Slipping.
Slipping. I'm falling.
I'm slipping. I'm falling. I can't get up. And that was one of the ones I was like 12, 13-ish, and that song always stuck with me. And like I didn't fully understand how like serious it was. I knew like it was like a real deep song, but I didn't realize how deep and dark the song was until I started to get older and listen to it. But it was just like it was something that just kind of stuck with me back in the day.
That was like Chili Peppers Under the Bridge for me. I didn't get it at first. When I listened to it, I was like, when I got older, I was like, oh, damn.
One more thing that I learned since we were just talking about NSYNC. So the Justin Timberlake
random NSYNC fact that I just learned. Didn't know this. Haven't been keeping this in my head.
No, this is relevant though. So the Justin Timberlake Janet Jackson incident, obviously, that went down, that he sort of tried to clean his hands of. So originally, I guess the stylist just came out and said that whole thing was Justin's idea, the ripping off the thing, that obviously it wasn't an actual malfunction. But they said the original idea was going to be she was going to be wearing a dress, and he was going to step on the tail of her dress, and it was going to come off and reveal her in a sequin thong. But they decided to go with the nipple thing at the last second because they thought it would be more shocking. So I would be like, damn, I would have preferred to see the first one.
The funniest thing was, I'll never forget where I was when it happened. I was over at my boy Steven's house, and we were in his room playing Madden at the time. And one of his friends came upstairs and was like, yo, y'all ain't watching the game? I was like, nah, man, what? It's like, yo, Janet Jackson titty just popped out. I was like, oh!
We missed it. We missed it. I was definitely watching live when it happened.
Yeah.
Man.
I was too. I think that does it.
Oh, wait. Let's do, I want to do a shout out real quick.
Nah.
So shout out to a friend of mine and Ryan's, Trent Jure. Shout out to you, bro. That, The Rock reposted one of his videos.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Is he famous now? Because The Rock is the most famous person on the planet.
Bruh, like him and a friend did a video where they were doing a promo for The Rock's energy drink, and he reposted it, and it's like, bruh, that's huge. That is absolutely huge.
The only problem is he didn't tag him.
Yeah, that sucks. That does suck, but it's still, I mean, your face is out there. People are gonna be like, yo, who are those guys?
Right.
So
he's only gained 100 followers off of it so far, though.
What?
Mm-hmm.
The Rock has tag him. Doesn't The Rock have like 1 billion followers or something crazy like?
But here's the crazy thing. Yeah, well, it's something ridiculous.
228 million.
Okay, I know he's the most popular male, I think.
The scary thing is, how the Twitter investigators are. They'll be like, yo, who are those two dudes in that video? And then somebody will add them, and then next thing you know, that's when they start to see.
Damn, I can't believe he didn't tag him, though.
Yeah. But
he tagged everyone else, like all his people and his advertisers. Maybe, no, he reposted it. I don't know why he didn't tag him. That was just lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously got the video from his page, but
or maybe someone sent it to him.
Or maybe we can go in and just start tagging.
He commented on his on the post. He's like, "The Rock, you forgot to tag me. I'm about to lay the smack down." But yeah, I mean, he didn't pin that comment or anything. It kind of sucks that Trent's not gonna reap the benefits of that. He could have easily gained 1 million followers off of that. Easily.
Oh yeah,
228 million. That's 1/200th. One,
right? Because 10% of that's still 20 million.
Right. So, yeah, if y'all don't know Trent, go check his stuff out at Trent Jure. That's TrentJeray. He's an excellent dancer. He does a lot of really cool creative things. He's out in Vegas now, but check him out. Really cool. Good shout out, Micah.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll wrap it up for us, fellas. We will be back. Oh, by the way, we did a live stream with Byron the other day on breaking down cornerback film. It was okay. We have some work to do, a lot of things to clean up, trying to figure out how it can be better. So bear with us on that one. We'll get some more content out later. But until we figure that one out, we won't do that type of format for a while here. We'll probably be doing mock draft pretty soon here, and we will be doing a live streaming of the NFL draft, which is coming up in now 16 days. So 2 weeks and 2 days, we will be watching the Falcons draft and doing a live breakdown and analysis of that.
We're going to sneak into Mercedes-Benz.
We will be streaming from the 50-yard line.
Goodell, if you mess this up for us, I'ma smack your face with a rack of jerk chicken.
All right, guys, that was a good show. I had fun. We are out of here, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
And if you like fish and grits and all that sports shit, everybody, let me hear you say, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.